Goes to first and got him. Oh, what a play. This one's gone. Cargo lays out and makes the catch. Strike three, inning over. Grand slam, Mark Reynolds. Rockies win it.
I was choking in the ground, building my rain up in the cloud, falling like ashes to the ground, hoping my feelings they would drown, but they never did, living and flowing inhibited, limited till it broke up and it rained
Here's
down.
the throw to the plate. Blackman is in there. Diving catch. Unbelievable. That was a missile. As good as it gets.
And with that, we welcome you to the first of four in the desert, the Rockies and Diamondbacks. The Rockies have won 6 consecutive games on the road. They're trying to snap a 6-game losing streak, however, against the Diamondbacks. Zach Greinke against Kyle Freeland. Let's check in with Mark Stott. Mark?
Charlie Blackmon is about to step into the batter's box. He leads all of baseball with 195 hits. Yes, he's 5 away from 200. Let's take a look at the list of Rockies that have had 200-hit seasons. There's Charlie. He wants to get on a list with Dante Bichette at the top in 1998 when Dante had 219. The most recent, Matt Holliday, back in 2007. You know what happened in that season. Charlie had 5 hits, guys, against the Dodgers. He's 5 away from 200.
There's nothing you don't think he will accomplish, is there? I mean,
No.
he's been outstanding. We were talking to Bob Nightingale from USA Today, who's in town for a few days watching this series, writing about both teams. And we're talking about the MVP candidacy of Charlie Blackmon. He said, I'm all in. He is, without question, one of the top 3 candidates in the National League. First pitch from Greinke's high, ball 1. Charlie in his career is 12 for 46 at 261 average against Greinke, who has 16 victories this year. And as Spilly explained, he's been almost untouchable at home.
Yeah, he's 13-1 with a 231. With those 16 home starts, 12 quality. The D-backs are 14-2. Low ERA, that's 6th in the National League. Strikeouts at 194, that's 5th in the National League. So Zach has rebounded from that game, or that year he had last year with Arizona.
That is up and in.
And that's going to be about the tops of his fastball velocity, is 91, as you see, but it's his slider. That is his out pitch. That's the one he wants to get to all the time. He's got a high chase percentage with that, 5th highest in strikeouts come on the slider in the National League.
That's the equalizer. He doesn't use it a ton, but that curveball is a really good one. Fortunately, it just missed, and now it's 3-1, count favoring Blackmon. And the Diamondbacks, who like to shift, they have 3 infielders on that right side. The outfield is absolutely straight up. Here's the 3-1 to Chuck. And that is a base hit toward the gap in right center field. It's going to roll all the way to the wall. Well, it'll be cut off short of the wall, but it's a double nevertheless. Great start once again for Charlie Blackmon. Hey, Mark, make a notation. That's hit number 196.
Well, Charlie did it in the LA series, leading off with base hits and walks, and now with the 3-1 count, he gets his 32nd double this year, right in the right center field gap. JD Martinez cuts it off to keep it from going to all the way to the wall where it would have been a triple. But for Charlie, what a start again. This offense We saw it all series long in L.A.
You know what else that was? That was his 90th hit on the road, which is #1 in the National League.
The amazing part down here by the dugout is the reaction he gets from his teammates. As soon as they hits it, he's like, "That's right. It's go time."
It's like it's almost automatic, it seems like.
Well, it's nice. He's basically the Rockies icebreaker.
Couldn't ask for a better guy to lead off, and that's why Buddy was so reluctant, even when the Rockies were struggling offensively, to shake up the lineup, because if you move one guy who's a staple, it affects other places.
It's a domino effect.
Yeah.
You know, so it's not just moving, you know, Charlie from 1 to 3. But then who do you hit leadoff? Who's going to hit then from that guy's spot? If you say, well, DJ, does he stay in the 2 spot?
Well, DJ probably be the most likely maybe to lead off, or a Parra.
Okay.
But again,
so now you're moving 4 guys.
And it also says to the club,
panic.
Yeah, we're worried.
Uh-oh.
Because you take the best leadoff hitter in the game and you're moving him around. 2 strikes on DJ, trying to move Charlie here against Greinke. And DJ wastes that pitch.
Well,
DJ's had his moments against Greinke. 286 lifetime average. He does own a home run against him.
I was going to say, too, you know that in the meetings that Arizona had about Colorado with their advanced scout, they're just saying, okay, everybody's swinging well right now. You got to make sure you keep this guy off base, and then if he gets there, you got to worry about. So there's already concern with you know what Charlie did with the leadoff double. Now that hurts, not getting over to third to give Cargo an opportunity, but that's Zach Greinke in the strikeouts.
So Greinke strikes out DJ. We'll take a look at the Rockies' Southwest batting order. They hit .301 in the 4-game set in Los Angeles, scored 28 runs in the 4 games there. Buddy's got Cargo batting third, Nolan behind him, then Gerardo Parra. Trevor Story, great career mark, as I think everybody knows, against Greinke. Then Mark Reynolds, he had the grand slam yesterday. Jonathan Lucroy, 6 for 8 lifetime against Greinke, and Kyle Freeland. So here's Cargo. Outside. Tell you a little story about Cargo and the kind of start he's off to in September. He has 9 extra base hits in 8 ball games in September. 7 doubles and 2 home runs. His high water mark for extra base hits before September was May, when he had 9 extra base hits.
June and July, he only had 6 combined in those 2 months.
This guy has persevered, but at the right time, he's in the best place he's been all year. 10 for his last 19, trying to drive home Charlie. And he hits this on the ground to second, so it'll take a 2-out hit from Nolan. Let's take a look at Arizona defensively. They're middle of the pack club. David Peralta is in left field. AJ Pollock in center. JD Martinez is in right. Marte's been good up the middle. Rosales at third. Drury at second. Paul Goldschmidt's a Gold Glover at first, and everybody is familiar with Chris Arenado. Next RBI for Nolan will be his 120th. He leads baseball. What's interesting, and it speaks to Greinke's longevity and his experience in the NL West, is that all the regulars for the Rockies have 40+ at bats against Greinke.
And there's something to be said for that familiarity. Even though the guy is good, at least you kind of have a picture in your mind when you go to the plate. Where's that release point? What's the ball look like? Even with the slider, I know it starts out looking like a strike, then ends up a ball, the curveball. What's the loop on it? That does help.
It does. It helps, but at the same time, when you're facing a really good pitcher with a great slider, you're thinking to yourself, I know I've gotten him a couple times, but he's still really good.
Yeah.
I don't want to see him this amount of times.
Is there a point where you know he's good, but you don't want to, with any great pitcher, you don't want to give him too much respect where you're getting yourself out before you walk to the plate?
No doubt.
1-2. Curveball, and this is hit in the air to shallow right, but it'll be gathered in out there by J.D. Martinez. So the Rockies, unfortunately, couldn't do anything with the leadoff double by Blackmon. We'll see Kyle Freeland next. To take on the Diamondbacks in the bottom of the first inning, and here is Torey Luvello's lineup tonight, presented by Southwest Airlines. David Peralta will lead it off for the 40th time this season. Then it's Arenado. It's become a fixture, especially against lefties in that 2-hole. A.J. Pollock, Paul Goldschmidt, J.D. Martinez. He had 2 home runs yesterday. Goldschmidt on his 30th birthday yesterday hit a home run. Brandon Drury, big power. Adam Rosales at third base. He's hit lefties well. That's why he's in there. And Ketel Marte is at shortstop. So Freeland coming off a couple of outings in which he didn't give the Rockies length, just 7 1/3 over his last 2.
And 74 pitches in both of those games. So the pitch efficiency wasn't great for Kyle. I think that's something that he's really going to focus on tonight, just filling up the strike zone. His last win was July 30th. It's been 6 starts since then.
Peralta hits a ground ball that'll stay fair, and that is the first out. Mark Reynolds handled it.
Well, that's a good sign, too, just that weak contact.
And he is one of the major league leaders, top 15 in inducing weak contact. That's why his ground ball rate is so high. Here's the Rockies defensively. Maybe the one part of the 4 games in LA that you'd like to see cleaned up. The Rockies did make some errors in LA. In fact, they've slipped now to 3rd in Major League Baseball in overall fielding percentage. I don't think you trade that infield defensively for anybody's. Swung on and missed. Chris Arenado over the top of a hard sinker. Arenado against lefties at .313. Righties a different story. 96 points beneath that average. Chris hitting .320 when he bats in the 2-hole. Spilly, he was your teammate. Kind of out of the box thinking by Torey Luvello to have him bat second.
It really was, and the very first time that they had Daniel Descalso leading off and Arenado batting second, they both laughed at it. But for a hitter, for a guy like Arenado, who's been a catcher his whole life and that is used to hitting probably 7th or 8th, hitting a guy second, we always talk about confidence. Hitting him second made him feel so much better about himself.
Got to puff his chest out, right?
And it pays off.
Well, it helps when you have Paul Goldschmidt or somebody like that hitting behind you. Tonight it's A.J. Pollock.
He went.
Yeah, he did.
Strike 3. Arenado is gone. 2 outs, and that will bring up Pollock.
It's a good early start here for Kyle Freeland. Really turned that one over. Got Chris to give the half check swing. He was trying to play it off.
Huey, that's his changeup. In that pitch, he throws at about 86 miles an hour. And I know one of the things that he will work on in the off season is getting a third pitch that has a greater variance in speed.
And even if it's only down to 83 miles an hour, just something a little bit more so that bat has already traveled through the zone. You know, if it's 86 but compared to 83, just 3 miles an hour, that's a big swing when you're taking a swing at the plate.
1-0 on Pollock. And Pollock lines it toward Cargo. He's right there, and it's a quick inning. 1-2-3 for Freeland. Took him only 8 pitches. Gotta like that. AT&T Sportsnet is brought to you by the 2017 Toyota Tundra in your hometown Toyota stores. By the Wyoming Office of Tourism. Wyoming is full of adventure. It's time to find out if you are too. That's why TravelWyoming.com. And by Southwest Airlines. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. It was a hot one today. Reached a high of 106. It's 103 right now outside. We are very pleased that it's 78 degrees inside. So is Gerardo Parra. The former D-back steps in against Zach Greinke. 3-for-5 ball game for Parra yesterday. Actually, a couple days ago. Parra not in the lineup yesterday.
Well, that's when he had the 2 extra base hits because Spilly asked for it.
That's right. Let's ask again.
Yeah.
Spilly nailed that.
He did, didn't he? The words barely came out of his mouth before Gerardo hit the double to right field.
That's a good curveball. He's a true, fellas, 4-pitch pitcher. In other words, we'll mention that a guy throws 4 pitches, but maybe the changeup with the slider only shows up, 1 or 2% of the time. He uses all 4 pitches.
Fastball 48% of the time, slider 23, changeup right around 15, 16, curveball between 12 and 13.
And what I like too is with all those pitches, he can hit the location where Chris Arenado is setting up. So if you want a sequence, and that's what Greinke's always talking about. You always hear about the high baseball IQ. He's thinking to himself, all right, first pitch fastball in, curveball in the dirt, fastball up and away. Now I'm going to throw the changeup. He's already going through that process because he can do it.
And he throws a really good curveball, and he gets a ground ball to second.
And I think the thing too for Greinke, what makes him so difficult and hard to hit is that everything is right around the strike zone when it comes out of his hand. So then he's working that ball in the strike zone, and then the last 10 or 15 feet out of the strike zone.
Who does that sound like? Guy he pitched with. We just saw him the other day.
Kershaw. Yeah. Greg Maddux, same thing. I mean, there's guys that make it look so close and so inviting, and then you're out on your front foot and you wail at it. If you don't get it, or if you do get it, it's just a kind of weak contact.
Fastball up to Story. He's gotten a steady diet of those. Trevor, in 12 games at Chase Field, whether it's Greinke or someone else, he has done damage. 8 home runs, 17 driven in. We've always said it. In the NL West, you have 3 extreme pitchers parks on the West Coast, and you have 2 great offensive parks in Coors Field and Chase Field. 1 ball, 1 strike. Tom Hallion's calling balls and strikes. What you don't want to have happen with the crew chief, Tom Hallion, is to get called out.
That's right.
Swing, folks. You'd rather punch out swinging, because Tom will let you know if you watch a 3rd strike.
That was my first conversation after a couple of years in the major leagues and getting to know Tom. You walk past him as you're getting to the box. You go, Tom, you're not dancing today. I'm not watching you dance.
He has one of the all-time great.
I don't see how, I mean,
strike 3
when he does
calls.
it, that he doesn't see stars.
He probably does.
He literally punches you out. 1-2. Story with the quick hands. He's gotten a diet of fastballs up. Trevor in his mind somewhere knows that something spinning may be coming. And as he evolves as a big leaguer, that's something that he'll hopefully adjust to. It's been a problem area against righties. You want changeup.
Good job. Because that was exactly where Chris had called for that pitch.
Do you guys ever really pick up a changeup?
No.
No, that's why it makes it such a good pitch.
And
as long as they don't slow the arm down, right, Spilly?
Yeah, you can totally give it away based on your mechanics. But if you throw a changeup with the same spin as your fastball, you'll never see it.
He got a curveball actually to hit, and he swung through it. So that's a 2nd strikeout. 2 gone, and Mark Reynolds will come up as we check in once again with Mark.
And because of Reynolds stepping to the box, how about we get you the Mako big hit yesterday afternoon in L.A. in the 8th inning. Walker Buehler, the Dodgers' first-round pick from 2015, a 3-2 pitch with the bases loaded. And Reynolds hits his 280th career home run, the grand slam, the Mako big hit. He is now 172nd all-time, guys.
Yeah, a couple of notes on that slam. Number 1, the pitch he hit was traveling at 99 miles an hour. That's one note. And the second note, which we learned this morning and was kind of baffling, that snap for the Rockies as a club, an 0 for 20 spell with the bases loaded.
And that was still a tight ball game. It was just 2-0 yesterday. I think the third fact you could add on to that, he threw it in at 99. Mark hit it out at 105.
That was blistered, man. And that turned out the lights on the Dodgers. 2-0 and 3-0.
I did enjoy walking around the batting cage, mingling with several scouts and different people here at the ball yard. You know how many people felt bad for the Dodgers in the run that they're on?
0?
Nobody.
Not in these parts. 3-1. Past 30 days, right-handed hitters against Zach Greinke are hitting just $1.25. And against righties, his ground ball rate of late is 72%.
You were talking about the changeup, how it's really hard to see. Well, with Greinke, him getting that arm slot back to having the same release point with his slider, the slider's become the pitch that, along with the changeup, it disappears for right-handed hitters.
Like that one.
Greinke comes all the way back, gets a strikeout. He has a 1-2-3 second inning. Second inning, Paul Goldschmidt getting ready, and then J.D. Martinez. And J.D. Martinez has had quite a run, not only of late, but since he put on a Diamondback uniform. And here's what he did at Dodger Stadium recently. Yeah, he had a lot of home runs, 4 of them. Came to the plate in the 7th inning with just 1 home run. He had a home run the 7th, the 8th, and the 9th to become the 18th player ever to hit 4 jacks in 1 game.
Off 4 different pitchers.
Crazy. He arrived on July 19th from Detroit. He's hit 21 home runs in an Arizona uniform. In that time, the only guy who's hit more home runs is Giancarlo Stanton, who's hit 25. Here's the 1-0 to Goldschmidt. And that's down 2-0. Not a guy you want to fall behind. Yesterday, Paul turned 30, and he hit his 34th home run. 3 solo home runs stood up for Arizona as they defeated San Diego 3-2. They came back, guys, from that mess of a game on Saturday when they blew a 5-run 9th inning lead.
Yeah, Archie Bradley was running around the clubhouse yesterday morning trying to fire the guys up, forget about yesterday. Then there was then he came in and finished the game last night instead of Fernando Rodney, or yesterday, I should say.
Changeups fouled off, 2-2. Though Torey Luvello sounds like he's still going to close with Fernando Rodney. Rodney's one of those guys that has been really, really good. When he has a hiccup, it's a big hiccup.
Yeah, it's bad, and it was bad the other night.
2-2 on Goldschmidt. I was told this story about Fernando Rodney and his time with the Miami Marlins, and him and A.J. Ramos. A.J. Ramos was the closer when he was traded from San Diego to Miami. And the very first night that Fernando's there, A.J. Ramos blows the save. And it was Fernando Rodney that walked up to him and said, "It's all right, man." So of all the guys, he's 40 years old. He's been in the big leagues for a long time. He gets it. he understands his role and he understands what baseball is like. So if you're Torey Lovullo, it's probably not a very difficult conversation to have with him.
And he's also said, I do not like pitching in the 8th inning. So if you're going to flip-flop him, you got a guy that's not happy if he had to pitch the 8th.
Another 3-2. That ball's lined to deep center field, but Charlie's there, 1 out. I'll tell you something else, and I make an analogy to a conversation we had 1 inning ago about when the Rockies were struggling offensively, and a lot of people were asking Buddy Black about moving Charlie Blackmon down in the order because he had been so steady and so productive. And again, as you guys were saying, you don't want to upset the apple cart. You move one and it has a domino effect. Archie Bradley is really good and really comfortable in that 8th inning, and kind of in an Andrew Miller role at times where he's getting more than 3 outs. So that's part of the equation also. And let's face it, Fernando Rodney, other than Greg Holland went through a period where he struggled, Rodney's been really good.
36 saves.
Can't panic if you sit where Buddy Black and Torey Lovullo do. It's like you're looking out the periscope on a submarine. Everybody's looking at you. You can't put your head back and go, oh man, it's not good.
Duck my head in the sand. Yeah, nope.
Got to see the size of that shark out there. 2-0 on Martinez. Second straight hitter. Freeland has fallen behind. Inside, 3-0.
Well, these are the guys you don't want to. The 4-5s of Arizona with Goldie and then J.D. Martinez. Martinez 390, 10 home runs, 22 stakes against the left-handed pitcher. And Billy, I think he's swinging here.
Good thing he did.
Yeah. I just thought he was going to be going, but that just nipped the inside of the Subaru strike zone.
He hits this a long way to left, and it is going to one-hop off the wall. Parra will throw it back in. It's a 1-out double. He's quick on the inner half, isn't he, Huey?
He is. They were talking to him today on the MLB Network, kind of about his swing and where he stands and how he approaches it. Get a little bit more movement as he goes forward than I'd say Paul Goldschmidt does, but still he's got a lot of whip left. Even though the body might travel forward just a skosh, his hands stay back.
He learned a lot, he was saying, from watching Miguel Cabrera for all those years. And Victor Martinez as well. 1 out, Martinez at second and Brandon Drury at the plate. Good pitch on the outside corner, I guess a little bit off, so it's 1-0.
Well, for Kyle tonight, making sure he gets ahead of the Diamondbacks hitters to not allow guys like J.D. Martinez, Drury, the rest of this lineup to have hitters counts.
Well, he did it in the first inning, and he had a 1-2-3 inning on 8 pitches. He's fallen behind each of the first 3 here in the second, and he's fallen behind 2-0 to each of the first 3.
Drury on the year, 295 with runners in scoring position.
Big, strong kid. He's a guy that does damage. 13 of his last 17 hits are extra base hits. 2-1.
Oh, he just sold out for the fastball because that was a sinking fastball. He's just going to take a chance on that. And you know what? On a 2-0 count, that's what you want to do. You want to get the head of the bat out.
Change up, and it's 3-1. 3-ball counts to each of the first 3 here in the second. And 3-2. Freeland's victory here April 28th. 6 innings, a run on 6 hits. The Rockies prevailed 3-1.
Game against Robbie Ray.
That's the one guy the Rockies fortunately will not see in this 4-game set. Robbie Ray, his last 4 games, is 4-0 with a 1.42 ERA. And he loses him. 2 on, force all around for Adam Rosales. Fans, join in on the conversation. Send us your questions, your statements. Use Twitter or Instagram at AT&T Sportsnet RM, and do not forget to use the hashtag Toyota Talk. And Kyle has been an expert at inducing ground balls. He'd like one right here with Rosales at the plate. Rosales in the lineup at third instead of Jake Lamb. Jake really struggles with lefties. And Rosales has been good against lefties with an 814 OPS over the last 2 years.
Yeah, Lamb hitting 151 on the season against left-handers.
That'll get you an invitation to watch. And that's low. And now Jonathan Lucroy is going to go out.
Clearly low on the Subaru strike zone, and this has just been an issue this inning with falling behind. No first pitch strikes.
I know after last start for Kyle, the question was asked if Bud thought that Kyle was starting to lose some gas. They thought the length of the season for him, he's still a young pitcher and hasn't really gone through the grind into late September, if it was starting to catch up to him. And he said it could be a possibility.
And this is a ground ball to Reynolds. There's one. Nope. They elect not to.
Uh-oh. I just said uh-oh because
Freeland okay?
Yeah, I was looking at Kyle because right after that he bent over. Remember, he had the groin issue earlier this year that caused him to go on the DL.
Well, it was because Adam Rosales ran into Kyle Freeland at first base.
So did he step on his foot? Kyle got over there immediately. He broke, no issue there. So on the back, maybe that last little stride. Oh, you know what? Did he step on his foot?
I think he took a knee to his knee.
Okay, Subaru Supermo, give us a better look. Okay, clearly out. Where does this happen now? He's trying to slow down.
He looks like he's fine.
Yeah.
Just watching him right now. Now you have a decision. Marte with first base open, bats 8th. Greinke's a good hitting pitcher, but he is a pitcher on deck. Early in the game, the Rockies will go after Marte. 2 in scoring position, and that looked like it was well placed. You got to get that pitch.
Yeah, clearly a strike on the Subaru strike zone. And I thought that Jonathan did a nice job holding it an extra half a second for Tom Allion to say, okay, you didn't give us that one, but you got to give us the next one.
Marte switch hitting shortstop. 2-0. Now the question is, you go ahead and walk him, not mess around.
Yep.
Less of a margin for error tonight facing a guy like Greinke.
They're going to walk him.
Hey, Spilly, your field level. Mark is so good at turning the double play. He's got a left side arm. What happened on that particular play where he elected not to fire it as short?
Drury was in the throwing lane, so he took a wide angle based on his lead. He was already established by setting his base path off the bag, so he wasn't in direct line of second base. So he was off by a bit, and that throwing lane was occupied. He would have had to throw the baseball over Brandon Drury just to get it to him.
That's smart base running. Oh, you can see it right there. We just froze it. Mark didn't have that angle to throw, then was able to get it over to Kyle.
And if there's
good eyes, Billy.
And if there's one guy, Huey, that was not going to forget to cover first, it was going to be Kyle Freeland, because he has
cost him last game.
Twice. One time he didn't cover, and one time he was slow getting over. And Kyle's a marvelous athlete. So here we go. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Greinke at the plate. And another first pitch out of the zone. Every hitter he has faced this inning, it's now 6. He has started out ball 1. That is a trend that has to change, clearly.
Zach Greinke won a Silver Slugger Award in 2013. This year hitting 161, but for his career, 211.
He's one of the best athletes in baseball. He swung a day late. He even has a grin on his face. He goes, was Lucroy throwing it back already?
And then he asked, was that a strike?
Got a sense of humor, at least. I always felt, Huey, when you played the infield, you had a pitcher up there, even a good hitting pitcher. When you're on the opposite side like DJ and Mark, you got to be on high alert.
Yes. No, totally. You got to be ready for anything.
Well, it's not the fastball velocity for Kyle. It's 94 miles an hour. The Diamondbacks are being fairly patient. I mean, they've taken some borderline strikes.
Two one, and that is called a strike. 2-2. Right at the very bottom of the zone. Bases loaded for Arizona. Martinez a double and a pair of walks. The last one to Marte was intentional. No score, bottom of 2. Rockies first of 4 in Arizona. Back up the middle, redirected. This is going to be a hit. And now another runner trying to score, and he's out. That was Drury trying to sneak home. It'll be an infield hit for Greinke, and a 1-0 lead for Arizona. 4-2 on that final putout. In the dugout, Kyle Freeland I would say having a conversation, but that would be
One
not
way.
accurate. It's a one-way conversation. Buddy Black made his point and then slapped him on the backside. Kyle's got to get ready to hit. It'll be Lucroy, Freeland, and Charlie Blackmon. Here's that comebacker.
Well, it's a natural reaction to reach up there. You see it on the Subaru Supermo, goes off the fingers. I know people say, oh, he should have let it go. Yeah, he should have, but that's your reaction because DJ would have had this play. I think he was going to be there. Greinke then beats it out. Brandon Drury is still being waved around. DJ wisely throwing home to Jonathan to get Drury at home for the third out.
Yeah, thank you very much, because Peralta would have been coming up with the bases loaded. So the Rockies give up a run. Lucroy 6 for 8 lifetime against Greinke. And they have that strange shift, if you will, shade is a more accurate way of looking at it, with Marte on the left side. He's in the hole, which to me, you have a shortstop playing third in Rosales. To me, you have 1.5 players. You're losing half a player, don't you think?
Yeah,
Huey?
because to me, Marte, if he's 2 steps to his left, he might be able to range up the middle where Rob Drake, the second base umpire, is to make a play. But if you hit it right there, I don't think he's going to be able to get that ball.
2-1. And also, some of the ground that he's covering, Rosales could cover.
Right. That's what I'm saying. If he moves 2 steps to his left, Rosales still covers that hole, but it allows him to be able to go more glove side.
2-1. 3-1. Jonathan's been a high on base percentage guy in a Rockies uniform. And this ball in the air to fairly deep center field, really deep center field. The leap at the wall, and it's over the head of Pollock. Lucroy is heading towards third. He's got himself a triple. That ball just kept carrying and carrying. He's now 7 for 9 against Greinke. Second triple for Jonathan.
He hammered this fastball off the wall. A.J. Pollock goes back. I mean, this is center cut, comes back in, maybe even a little inner third. Pollock goes back and makes a leap for it. It's Billy, you know, when you're out there playing center field and you've run that far, you know the wall's closing in on you. It's a tough play to try to make.
Well, not only that, the visuals here with the way that there's those awnings where people can sit, you see it and it gets darker. So here at this ballpark specifically, and luckily for AJ, he's played here for a lot of years, but a lot of outfielders, when you start running back, it gets darker. And you think you're going to run into the wall because of the awning.
Freeland can handle the bat a little bit. And that's a dirty curveball, 0-2.
Seen a lot of curveballs today early in this game from Zach Greinke.
I think it's his best pitch tonight.
So far.
Yeah. He's got significant depth on it. Fastball up. Well, this goes without saying, but I will say it anyhow. The Rockies must get this run home.
Yes.
They had an opportunity with Blackmon in the first to lead off double. And DJ, one of the rare times he was unable to move his buddy along, the Rockies ended up not scoring. You get a ton of opportunities with Greinke. And this is on the ground to second. And it's a good play by Drury. Lucroy holds, and now Blackmon will come up, and this will be the key at bat this inning.
And they were able to play the infield at that halfway depth with Jonathan at third, where you're not all the way in, because if they're at the edge of the grass, that one might sneak by Brandon Drury. If he's playing all the way back, then Lucroy scores. I thought, though, they would do that with Freeland. I didn't think they would stay with this defensive lineman with Charlie hitting.
I'm shocked by this, actually.
Yeah. I thought they would definitely move back, concede the one run. But no, they're going to stay at this depth.
And this is a contact play for the runner at third, regardless of where the ball is hit.
Now
anything on the ground, yes, with one out, you're moving. Nobody out, you'll let the ball go through the infield and then score the run. In this case, you're probably going to try to put some pressure on the defense.
Yeah, and it does help that Greinke's going out of the windup. Get a little bit bigger lead at third. Now this is where you gotta. I mean, Charlie just kind of shaking his head there. Okay, I gave him that pitch. I got to figure out a way to get this next one in play.
Charlie got a 3-1 count his first time up and hit a line double to right center field. Sitting on 89 RBIs, 88 have come when he's batting leadoff.
Wow.
Greinke spun a great curveball. Charlie chased twice, and once again it's going to take a 2-out hit.
Well, I think it comes down to that second one he swung at down in the dirt. Now he's sitting 0-2. That was just such a defensive swing from Charlie, very un-Charlie-esque.
Charlie has had 578 at bats. As DJ steps up, and he lines a base hit to right to tie up the ball game. He picks up his partner, and it's 1-1. So Lucroy's triple will not go to waste.
And you know that DJ was still smarting a little bit from that first inning when he wasn't able to get Charlie over. Now you feel like you redeem yourself a little.
That's huge.
It is.
From a team perspective, that was huge.
Reaction in this dugout was, yeah, and because it was that collective sigh to get that run in. They know they got away with one in the first inning. They should have scored a run. Right there with Charlie at the plate, you're expecting him to drive him in. He doesn't, and then with two outs, punching it in, this dugout was alive.
In the dirt to Cargo. I was about to say, and Spilly and Huey, you've seen, as we all have, every at bat Charlie's taken this year, and we are very fond of saying to people that are seeing the Rockies for the first time or maybe for the second time that Charlie Blackmon never has a bad at bat. That may have been, of his 578 at bats, that may have been his worst at bat of the year. And it's not a knock.
No,
it's just,
not at
you know,
all.
Charlie would probably say the same thing. He just never has a bad at bat. Doesn't mean you don't make outs. Obviously you make outs, but
just the three swings. But I guarantee you this, though, that Charlie doesn't feel quite as bad now because DJ picked him up.
Nope.
That's what good teams do, and that's what teammates do. Pick each other up.
1-1 on Cargo. Ground ball to second. His first time up. 5 career home runs against Greinke, and he's hit over 350 in his career against Greinke. Coming into tonight in September, this is how much it's flipped around for Cargo. He had an OPS of 1606. Again, that's on base percentage plus slugging percentage. He was slugging 1,000. On base percentage over 600 in his first 8 ball games of September.
That's coming at the right time, too. You needed somebody, one of those guys, to step up besides the 3 horses that have been doing it all year. And you can throw Parra and my man Mark Reynolds in there. But you needed somebody else to be able to say, okay, I'm gonna help out here too.
And it's not just somebody else, to your point, and Buddy will say this, and Cargo knows this. There are a few guys with his talent in the game, and for the Rockies to be the best team they can be, they need Cargo as Cargo.
Well, that's why he's hitting third again.
Yeah. 2-2. And Greinke able to get him. The Rockies get even, though. A triple by Lucroy and a 2-out single by LeMahieu for his 60th RBI, and we're at 1-1.
Let's get you the CenturyLink high-speed challenge question for tonight. It has to do with the sweep of the Dodgers in L.A. the last 4 games. What was your favorite thing? Nolan homer against Kershaw, Russin against Turner, Reynolds grand slam, or Sweaty Stout yesterday afternoon in the heat? Guys, I got off the bus today with DJ LeMahieu, and he says to me, I saw Spilly's tweet about you, Mark. You had some issues yesterday. And I was like, yeah, it felt like it was 100. He actually said to me it was the hottest game he played at Dodger Stadium. But he got a kick out of it. I know people got a kick out of the fact that I sweated through my suit. It's just par for the course for this whole road trip that hasn't gone my way. By the way, Huey.
Yes.
You brought my wallet.
I had to break into your car out at DIA to get that thing.
Yeah, I left my wallet at home. Sweaty Stout was yesterday. Broke a button off my shirt. And
you've just been a disaster.
Yeah, this is grounded. If Reynolds, he'll get that. Today, I couldn't find, I was like, where's my shaving cream and razor? I left that in L.A.
That was after you left your regular credential at the hotel room in L.A. yesterday, and then they couldn't let you in your room because you didn't have ID.
How am I going to give you ID? I don't have my wallet.
I didn't know that part.
Yeah.
You're a mess.
I did. It took.
You didn't hear about that one.
I almost missed the team bus. It took like 20 minutes because I didn't have ID, because I didn't have my wallet, and my credential was in the room. So I didn't have that either.
Mark, here's what I really don't get.
What?
After revealing to our vast audience all of your transgressions over the last several days, this is the one I really don't get. Tonight, Huey and I were having dinner with Allison Vigil, our producer, and Dougie, and you still hadn't gotten your wallet yet because Charlie Felix, our outstanding photog, did a favor for Huey, who had schlepped your wallet here, and said, will you run this down to Mark? I said, he hasn't gotten his wallet. That'd be the first thing I did when I woke up, right?
Exactly.
Get your wallet.
Did he ever text me? No. And I was like, well, it's not my wallet, it's his. Maybe he's going to text me today. If not, I'll bring it to the ballpark.
It felt kind of, I had this sense of freedom of not having a wallet. I don't know what it was, so I tried to milk it until I really needed it.
Until you actually needed money and funds.
Yeah.
He's been on scholarship the whole time.
Yes.
So I have.
He's worked the
I'll
system.
Yeah, well, here's the thing, is it's 1-1 on Arenado inside. No, it's a strike, 1 and 2. Here's the deal, Mark. I don't know if you've actually, since you just got it, you wouldn't want to peek inside it. For his efforts, he took a C note, and I felt bad taking that much, so I took 40.
Yeah, and I might have to fix my car now when I get back, right?
Right, exactly.
Well, at least I got my wallet.
You got your wallet.
That's right. 2 and 2. Wow, that's that's like a children's book. My horrible, terrible,
most awful list
week. 2-2 on Chris Arenado, way inside, 3 and 2. 1-1 game here in the third. Mark Stout all the way. Stout made, as great as that weekend was for the Rockies. I mean, Nolan's 3-run homer.
Russin's matchup with Turner.
The granny yesterday. Maybe Stout sweating out of his uniform.
What was your guys' favorite moment? Mine was easily Justin Turner and Chris Russin. That at bat to me was such a cat and mouse game with one of the league's best players, with a very underrated reliever that doesn't get enough attention. It just felt like it was the tables were switched, and the Rockies just felt after that it was game on.
Ball 4, Arenado draws a walk. The one for me, and I agree with you, and there were so many moments. We probably could have had a list, 10, 12 deep, including still Stout sweating through his suit. But Huey, for me, Clayton Kershaw is gold, right?
Yes.
And at home, he's gold.
Right.
He's platinum at home. 16 straight victories for the Dodgers. 3 hitters in. Nolan jumps him on the first pitch. It's 3-0. And that set the tone for me for the entire 4-game series.
Yeah, for a team that's already struggling. The only game they had won there for a bit was Clayton's game down in San Diego.
Good point.
So you jump on them. You end up beating them that game. Boy, I don't know, because then yesterday it's just 2-0 and Mark hits a granny to put it up 6. There's so many fun moments to go back into that 4-game series. But I'm kind of with Spilly. I love that quick pitch matchup, and now Justin Turner was as red as his hair.
That's right, he really was.
He was upset. How about his quote after the game yesterday? People were saying, hey, you still have the best record in baseball. He said, I don't want to hear any of that. He said, we're the worst team in baseball right now.
Yeah. The thing with Justin Turner, he tells it like it is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pollock with a 1-1 count. Pollock's been slumping. He's 0 for his last 15 at the plate. But after the first inning, the trend for Freeland has unfortunately been that he's fallen behind. And that's what's plagued him somewhat frequently the last few starts.
One more strike than ball for Kyle. The 49 pitches and just 2 for 12 first pitch strikes.
And again, he misses, not close, 3-1. And now it's a 50-50 split. It also makes it difficult to stick around for a decent amount of time, which was one of the staples of his first half starts. You knew he was going to give you 6 innings at least.
He's only had 1 quality start in his last 6.
And
I think he's really coming out of his delivery right now.
yeah, so much so that Jonathan Lucroy is going to go out. Then you have 2 on, and you got the big boys coming. Paul Goldschmidt, followed by J.D. Martinez. Four walks already, 1 intentional. Goldschmidt lined a 3-1 pitch to dead center field, right at Charlie Blackmon. Goldie's 2 for his last 18, but I don't think there's anyone in the world who cares about that. You have the utmost respect for this guy.
It's like Miguel Cabrera when he came into Coors Field. He hit 250.
Absolutely.
But he's still Miggy.
Exactly.
You can say the numbers about Goldie. He's still Goldie. 34 home runs, 111 ribbies.
Cutter misses outside. Well, the Rockies are getting good news tonight from Milwaukee in the 9th inning. The Pirates lead 7-0. And by the way, Cleveland, they've won 19 in a row. They shut out Detroit 11-0 tonight. 19 straight victories. 2-0. Wow. It's just a struggle right now for Kyle.
Well, and I think you're going to get a phone call down to the bullpen any moment now. Whether Antonio or maybe Jeff Hoffman getting up.
And I saw Lucroy look directly into the dugout, kind of giving them the heads up. It's starting to fall apart.
Darryl Scott standing next to Steve Foster. He's the AAA pitching coach for the Rockies. D. Scott does some great work with
yeah, he does.
arms in this organization. He's going to work with Freeland in the offseason, in fact. Two-1 on Goldschmidt. And a ground ball, comebacker. There's one on the first, double play. So Freeland lives to tell about it. The 2 walks with Goldschmidt standing at the plate. Good for Kyle to make a pitch there. We head to the 4th, tied at 1. On this Patriot Day, USAA honors those who have served and all of our service members at home and abroad. And some scenes from before the game on the 16th anniversary of 9/11. And I know everyone has their personal memories of where they were and where they watched and the emotions they felt. For many in the Rockies organization, and for me, 9/11 was down here in Arizona. And I remember in retrospect, and certainly that day also, personally being so thankful because at the time we had Jacob and Zach. Gabe wasn't born yet. My wife Christy was down here to be able to be with family. That was the most bizarre day of my life.
Yeah, I was at home in our kitchen getting ready to head down to instructional league a few days later, but fortunate that I was able to be home. But wow, 16 years ago.
And the one thing that we as a nation really hold very close to our heart is that we will collectively never forget.
No, nor should we.
Nope. No way. Nolan flies out to Martinez, 1 out in a 1-1 game, and Gerardo Parra, who hit it on the ground to second, will come up. Slider, and that's a strike. Greinke, you know, for some teams, they have decisions to make if they're going to the postseason as to who would pitch game 1. There's no decision if you're Torey Lovullo and you can set up your rotation. And it's going to be a play-in game. That's on the ground again to second. Greinke will get over. The Rockies, if they're the other wild card, and right now they have a 3-game lead, 3 on St. Louis, 3.5 now on Milwaukee, who did lose tonight 7-0. The game would be down here, and they would be facing Zach Greinke.
Yeah, and it just depends on, you know, when do you make it into the playoffs? It could fall down to that last Sunday. And so then it's just kind of, well, then you only have a couple options on what you're going to do, and in whose rotation turn does it turn out to be.
That's why these next few weeks are going to be thrilling, exhilarating, and fascinating, all wrapped into one, and hopefully not too fascinating. The Rockies continue on this run. They've won 4 straight, 6 in a row on the road. They've won 6 of 7 overall. And they catch fire as they did the first 2.5 months. This ball is well struck to center field. Pollock, though, is there. And Story is the 3rd out of the 4th inning. Middle of 4. The Rockies won and the Diamondbacks won. That was a 6-pitch inning for Greinke. Colorado Rockies baseball on AT&T Sportsnet is brought to you by Subaru. Love is what makes a Subaru a Subaru. And by the Lodge Casino, your first choice for fun. We go to the bottom of the fourth at Chase Field in downtown Phoenix, Arizona. The Rockies and Diamondbacks each have a run. And J.D. Martinez, who doubled, is getting ready to hit against Kyle Freeland. Kyle Freeland, after throwing strike one of the first 3 hitters of the game, has thrown ball one to the next 11. And now it's the next 12. He wiggled out of a problem in the third after 2 walks with 1 out. He got Paul Goldschmidt to hit into a 1-6-3 double play.
Best part of the last inning was sitting right next to the dugout and watching Bud slowly creep towards the phone. The way that it was working out after walking both Arenado and Pollock 2-0 to Goldschmidt got him out of his chair.
Well, he'll have a short leash, Spilly, based on the 4 walks and being behind so frequently. One of the walks was intentional, but you know, if this were June or July, you'd have a longer leash because you'd have less options in the bullpen. But you know, this is September. There's a number of bodies down there, and given the importance of all of these games.
Well, and you know what, too, was Zach Greinke on the mound. You know, he's only giving up the 1 run.
Oh, man, that hit him. Hopefully Kyle's all right. Arenado did not throw him out. He's called safe, but that hit Kyle.
Got him on the side of the face. Maybe the jaw.
I think it hit his glove and then it ricocheted off the glove to his face. No, it caught him.
Oh. Oh, man.
Well, you know what? Now they're looking at his arm. Maybe it didn't get it. Maybe it got his upper shoulder.
I thought it got his jaw.
Well, Doogie's looking at that as well. While obviously Keith Duggar, most importantly, is checking on Kyle, they're going to review this because the Rockies, I believe, thought Arenado's throw beat Martinez.
Video replay review presented by Barnett Delaney Perkins Eye Centers. The call on the field is that the batter runner was safe at first base. The review is initiated with a manager challenge by the Colorado Rockies.
That also, and I'm just so thankful they're looking at Kyle's arm and
get a better look.
That's going to be tough to overturn.
Yeah, it will be.
As soon as it touches leather, that's considered a catch. Now, as the foot is any part of the foot on the bag, they have to determine, because he was called safe, and they're going to take Kyle out. Wow, that is scary.
Just watching that replay again and again, it's just fortunate that it's too bad he has to come out of the game as he is safe at first, but that just didn't hit him in the face, because that's what it looked like originally.
So Tyler Anderson will come in. We haven't seen Tyler on a big league mound in a while. 1-1 ball game in the fourth. Jenny, thanks very much. Tyler Anderson will be on a big league mound for the first time since June 25th. He had a scope on his knee, and his last couple of appearances, few appearances, were tune-ups in Albuquerque, trying to lengthen him out, get him comfortable again. He's a pretty nice guy, Huey, to bring out of the bullpen, albeit it's been a while, but when Tyler's right, this is a tough guy to hit.
Well, because it hasn't changed what he throws. It's still the fastball, changeup, cut fastball. The changeup is his money pitch. That's the one he likes to try to get the swing and misses with. Yeah, you're exactly right. Welcome back, Tyler. It is a big spot for him to make his return. I think you were hoping you could ease him back in somewhere else where the score was different, but this kind of dictates, hey, a good opportunity for him to come in and give you a couple innings. And who knows, it might even be just to get out of this inning, because pitcher spot due up next, and with all the relievers that you have out there, you figure maybe Tyler's the one that could get loose the fastest, and then maybe you flip it over to a right-hander. I mean, these are all the things that, all these things that you're juggling in your mind as a manager and as a pitching coach. Or maybe he stays in. If the first couple guys get on, you ask him to bunt.
Well, I think some of it depends clearly on what transpires in this inning. A leadoff hit by Martinez. If it's a 1-1 game, I think he hits and you try to get length out of him. You know, if somehow the inning goes sideways, you can't give away at bats against the Zach Greinke. Tyler Anderson will face Brandon Drury first. The ball off the bat of J.D. Martinez.
Yeah.
115 miles an hour.
Goodness.
But the good news is, you can tell by not only the reaction on the field, but how Kyle walked off, and most notably also where they were looking.
Kind of
it got him mostly on the upper arm, and thank goodness for that.
I remember kind of flash back to what happened here a few years ago when Cargo hit that ball off of
Archie Bradley.
What's scary on the Subaru Supermo for Kyle, and then immediately put his hand up to his jaw. You're thinking worst case scenario.
Just to get perspective on 115 miles an hour off the bat, yesterday's grand slam from Mark Reynolds, 105 miles an hour off the bat. The one that Trevor Story hit that was crushed was 110 miles an hour off the bat.
And Spilly, there aren't many balls all year long that are hit above 115 miles an hour, unless your name's Giancarlo Stanton. There just aren't.
You don't even have time to react.
One thing I always kind of worry about when you have these situations and a pitcher comes in who's not a reliever, who's a starter by nature, does he feel any pressure? All right, you know, I've already been out here throwing for 4 or 5 minutes. I'm ready when I'm not truly ready.
They do feel the pressure because the crowd is, you have that adrenaline rush going, but are you really loose?
First pitch, a fastball at 92 for Anderson. It's a strike to Brandon Drury. Drury walked in the second. Rockies run driven in by DJ LeMahieu after a Jonathan Lucroy triple. 1-1. Greinke an infield hit with the bases loaded in the second to produce the Arizona run. Both teams with 3 hits. Ground ball foul.
And you know, for Tyler, this has been a long time coming after the injuries that he's dealt with the knee and then having to have it scoped. Go way back to the end of June, the last time he was on a big league mound, and he had to walk off it. That's never a good feeling when you have an injury and you can't finish what you started.
And a dirt ball. And that eliminates any chance at a double play. It's a wild pitch. Martinez moves up.
For Jonathan, this is his first time catching Tyler.
It's hard on catchers.
Well, it is, and that's why I said
with
that.
Ball movement.
Right, even Tyler on his sides, Jonathan's not going to go down and catch that side. It's just talking to him. You know, what do you like to throw in certain situations?
27-year-old. How's that pitch fouled off?
Hey, you want to watch the Drive to the Pennant with MLB.tv every night you can on every device. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live, plus get a free subscription to At Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Visit MLB.tv for more details.
Last year, Anderson was just 5-6, but he threw to a .354 ERA in 19 starts. Time called by Drury. And Anderson with that fastball changeup combination. Able to induce some strikeouts. A year ago, struck out almost 8 hitters an inning. This year, he was striking out a hitter per inning. 3-2.
I think even before Tyler went on the DL and early in the season, that knee was bothering him more than he let on. He tried to fight through it, just wasn't getting the same drive off that leg.
(3-2). Anderson, #1 pick of the Rockies out of the University of Oregon.
It's time to see Tom Hallion dance.
I like it, Spilly. Careful. He's coming your direction, Spilly, coming in hot.
Yeah, it was an ugly finder. Missed me.
I'll pass on every thought I just had. I'm going to go easy on you. It's game 1 of the series.
Low-hanging fruit, man. You got to take your shots when you get when I leave it there for you.
That beard's coming in nicely, by the way.
It is.
Yeah.
You'll leave me several more, I'm confident of.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Another 3-2 on Drury. He's fouled off the fastball. He's fouled off the changeup.
Well, he's able to foul that changeup off because it was up. I think you can get the dance from Tom Hallion if you start the changeup just above the kneecaps coming out of the hand, make it look like the fastball, and then end up mid-shin area.
10th pitch. Ground ball left side. Arenado with a fine play and holds Martinez at second. So we finally got him on a changeup. Adam Rosales will come up.
Now, with all these wins this week, my boots went 6-1. And with all the wins that the boots have had, it's taken its toll on these poor boots.
Oh, no.
I had to get them fixed today. You can see they're talking. It sounded like I was a tap dancer walking down the hall. That's athletic trainer Heath Townsend in town. He taped it up. He gave me the spats. I think they look fine.
It looks great with that tape.
You should have gone ahead and done your ankle.
Yeah, these are, I mean, they're good. Good to go.
Very few people know Heath Townsend's name. He's known throughout the organization as Heater. He's the Rockies' terrific AAA trainer, and he usually spends September with the club.
I love him. He's a big Alabama fan, born and raised in Alabama.
He's Alabama through and through.
Yeah, it took me a while. It took me almost 2 years to actually understand what he was saying.
Runner taken off for third, and Martinez is safe. Throw was right on the bag, but Martinez, we've been at second base for a while. And he timed the lefty, Anderson, and took off.
Well, with the extra hesitation, too, for Tyler, that allowed an extra 3 or 4 steps for J.D. Martinez, his second stolen base, and clearly in before the tag at Nolan, and then keeps his balance on the bag.
Wild pitch and a stolen base. Now the infield comes in with Rosales, and the pitch is high, 2-1. Rockies would be in the same scenario if somehow Anderson can get Rosales without Martinez scoring. Sure, they'd walk Marte and take their shot again at Greinke. High drive, deep left field. It'll get the run home. 2-1 Arizona. They did the little things. They moved up on a ball in the dirt, and Martinez, who's no base thief, took advantage of that kind of pause in the stretch.
Well, I don't think anybody thought, J.D. Martinez was going to steal third, but that's where a veteran guy took it upon himself to say, I can get this, because you have to make sure you're there. And just watch Tyler. So the leg goes up. That allows J.D. to take an extra 3 or 4 strides as he gets in easily at third. Just his second stolen base in a D-backs uniform.
It is the first time in his career he has stolen third. Marte takes a strike. We'll close the book on Kyle Freeland. He goes 4+, 2 runs, 3 hits, 4 walks, 1 intentional, and 1 strikeout. And as soon as we learn something more from the Rockies clubhouse on Kyle's condition, we obviously will pass it along. Marte's 10 for his last 23 at the plate, swinging the bat well, playing shortstop every day in the absence of Nick Ahmed and Chris Owens. I said 4+. Let me correct that. It's 3+. We're in the 4th inning. Two.
Last pitch 93 from Tyler. Before he went on the DL, he was a lot of 90s and 91s. Pitching like hitting involves a lot of your legs.
You know, we saw a drop off in the velocity last year of Jake McGee when his knee wasn't right. And now he's back to where he's always thrown the ball, 94 to 97. 3-2. There's similarities between Anderson and Freeland. You'll see more cutters from Freeland, and you'll see a bigger drop off in the changeup in terms of velocity from Anderson. Bigger.
Well, and that's where,
difference.
you know, we're talking about the changeup and taking a little bit more off for Kyle. I think that's where he would benefit, just to talk to Tyler, and maybe he has. I don't know, but just say, hey, how do you grip your changeup? I think those are the little things that you can learn from guys that have been around. And you know, Tyler's not a cagey veteran, but he's been in the game a while.
Yeah, you forget he has been in the game a while because he's dealt with some injuries in the minor leagues. He was he played at Oregon for 3 years. Of the rotation guys, he's the second oldest to Chad Bettis. Chad's 28. Anderson's 27. That'll end the inning. JD Martinez comes around to score. So as we go to the fifth, it's 2-1 Arizona.
Arizona. We go to the fifth. Arizona's up 2-1. You got a close ball game. Buddy Black was asked about the series today in his presser, and they said, look, we share a complex for spring training. These guys have seen each other. We've got players that have played for both organizations. And then he put it into words like this.
You know, it's just good old-fashioned baseball, and you know, whoever plays better. They had our number last week in Denver. We got to bounce back this series.
That's it. You know, black and white, plain and simple. Rockies did not play well at home in Denver against Arizona, but they have a chance to kind of right that here after the wins in LA. So let's see what happens.
Well, Mark, that's the sport, and as a competitor, you're going to have a little more motivation when you just got embarrassed, and I'm sure the Rockies feel that way. Got plenty of confidence right now coming off the 4-game sweep in LA. Mark Reynolds is out to begin the fifth inning. That'll bring up Jonathan Lucroy, who tripled off the center field wall beyond a leap by A.J. Pollock.
Jonathan Lucroy.
When he got the fastball, they wanted it away. It comes back inside. Jonathan hits his second triple in a Rockies uniform. Pollock gets up high for it, but misses it by a good foot. Those are the best kind of triples, when you can just go in standing up. You don't even have to worry about sliding.
Career .383 average at Chase Field for Lucroy, and he's 7 for 9 against Greinke. He's got the code.
He has a cheat code.
That's what I was going to say, yeah.
He's the Greinke whisperer.
don't think it works that way.
Oh.
But I like the visual of it.
Don't you wish you could be that way, Spilly?
Hey, Zach, throw me a fastball. Don't mess around with your curveball. I'll hit it.
Little chip in his ear.
1-1. Told you that ball smoked also, but it's at Pollock. Go back to the dugout. Luke Croy's going to go, fellas, what's the
so
deal, man? This
difficult.
guy stinks. Crushing this guy. Folks, if the Rockies score 7 or more, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day between 4 and 6. Get your Rockies taco special, Lip Moss at Taco Bell. So Tyler Anderson with 2 outs and nobody on. Anderson hit a bomb last year. Remember that? Was that here? I'm trying to remember. Dougie, where was that? Am I imagining something? Huey didn't hit a bomb?
He did. Was it in Philadelphia?
No, I think it was at home versus the Phillies.
Okay.
He ran into one.
It's a changeup for a strike, 1 and 2.
Both of those were in the Subaru strike zone for sure, the last 2 pitches.
You guys have good memories. That or you cheated. It was home against the Phillies last
I
year.
had the right team, wrong
All right,
stadium.
what was the date?
Dougie for the win. It was July 9th.
Guys,
It's a loaded deck.
It
you
is.
guys are unbelievable. Two and 2. And that'll end the inning. Greinke has retired 7 in a row. And the Diamondbacks lead 2-1, middle of 5 in the desert. The Coors Light Cold Hard Facts are brought to you by Clean Crisp Coors Light. So Cleveland currently has a 19-game winning streak after winning tonight 11-0. The Major League major league record for consecutive games without a loss. 27 by the 1916 New York Giants. And after 12 games, the Giants played an 8-inning rain-shortened tie game. That's why we used the clarification without a loss. The John McGraw-led Giants, Hall of Fame manager, also had a 17-game win streak that season, but finished in 4th place. Cubs won 21 straight, 35. The A's in 2001 won 20 straight. And tomorrow the Indians will go for 20 straight. If you're wondering about those Dodgers, they're in San Francisco, and odd things going
What's
on
going
up
on?
there. There's a rain delay.
In San Fran.
In San Francisco.
It was like, was it 2 years ago we got rained out in San Diego?
Yeah.
Are you sure it's rain or the Dodgers just turn on the
Raining.
sprinkler system?
Are they? Yeah,
may
they
have
pulled
done
the
that.
Bull Durham.
Zach Greinke against Tyler Anderson to begin the 5th inning. During the 19-game win streak for the Indians, they've scored 132 runs. They've allowed 32. Plus 100. Crazy.
And they've had some injuries they've had to deal with too during that time.
They just lost their center fielder, Bradley Zimmer, for the season to an injury. That's a good pitch. Change up, 1-1.
Boy, he dove in head first to avoid a tag and then got his hand stepped on and broke a finger. Go to see a hand specialist. Determine the next course of action. Check him.
1-2.
Yeah.
Did Greinke point
I
down
think he
there?
did.
Oh, yeah, he
Smelly,
did.
he?
It's fantastic.
Check him.
All 3 of them all point.
What is he doing?
Darn it. Should have pointed down there.
That's funny. Strike 3.
There you go.
And we got the dance.
We got the dance. Thank you, Tom.
Did he ever get either one of you guys?
Come on. He got me all the time. Tom got me all the time. That's why I had asked him not to dance for me today.
Watch the dance. Just watch Tom Hallion.
Disco fever.
I'm telling you right now, I'd be seeing stars if I tried to move my head that fast.
Here's Peralta. He's 0 for 2. 2 ground balls to first. Here's a strike. One and one. Big swing. The baseball hit his leg. 1-2.
We used to have this running game on the bench on how many times a foul ball would go between a batter's legs over the course of the game, and most people think that's impossible. It happens on average twice a night. A foul ball in between the hitter's legs after the swing.
Nolan's got this one, and Peralta is out number 2 in the 5th inning.
Catcher, Chris Arenado.
Really, Spilly, when you think about that, you wouldn't think that would happen twice in a week.
Happens every night.
I know. But you wouldn't think, just by watching a guy swing and where he's trying to make contact, that it would end up going between your legs.
Arenado, a strikeout and a walk. That changeup is high and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. That's out of play. Jonathan's going to give it a cursory glance. One, 2 on Arenado.
Strike. Nope.
Little cutter.
Well, according to the Subaru strike zone, we should be going to commercial break.
He's throwing a ball. Three and 2 on Arenado. Always patient. Hey, congratulations to Lancaster. They knocked out Rancho Cucamonga. They're in the championship series, the Cal League, beginning tomorrow.
Tomorrow night.
So at every level, the Rockies beating the Dodgers right now, huh? 3-2. Deep right, but Cargo runs to a spot. He's got the baseball, and Anderson has himself a 1-2-3 fifth inning. We go to the 6th. The Rockies trail by a run. Baseball on AT&T Sportsnet is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. Two-1 Arizona leading the Rockies as we go to the 6th inning with Mark Stout, Ryan Spilborghs, who's trying to get himself back in the dugout. And Jeff Houston, I'm Drew Goodman.
They're not going to let him back in the dugout wearing those boots. You got to.
That's right, they won't.
Rockies at the top of the order, 3rd time through against Greinke. Blackman a double and a strikeout. First pitch misses, ball 1.
Every time Greinke throws, it reminds me of a tennis match where he grunts.
Monica Seles.
Right? Every time. It doesn't matter what the pitch is either.
Do you remember facing anybody who grunted like that?
Trying to think, not really. Not on every pitch. Some guys that do it on a fastball that was 95 plus.
Second baseman,
Jake Peavy was notorious for it. And he was great because he would yell at himself. He would always call himself the Peeve. So he would throw a ball, just miss the corner. He was like, "Come on, Peeve!"
He was great. I think sometimes umpires, especially young umpires, misinterpreted that they were yelling at him, or he was yelling at them when he was yelling at himself.
Yeah, he yelled at himself at everything.
Huey, what about Nolan Ryan?
Yeah, good call, Mark. He did grunt, but I never had to face him. I was always playing behind him, so I didn't hear it as much.
DJ, a big RBI single in the third with 2 outs. Rockies have been limited to 3 hits against Greinke tonight. He's been on a roll, especially at home. 13-1 at home.
What a contrast from last year.
He had a 4.5 ERA at home last year.
Remember when the Rockies beat him last year, opening day here, and he was complaining that, oh, I don't know if I can throw here. I don't know, you know, in the whole year. Just those numbers bear it out. 5 and 5, 481, 275. One striking guys out.
Completely different pitcher.
He is. But he was complaining about the mound and the, you know, the roof and everything under the sun, it seemed like.
Now, that was an enormous deal, a 6-year deal. And Arizona's a mid-market team, so I think people were worried, oh my goodness, this is going to be the worst signing ever. Well, now the Arizona Diamondbacks are 23 games above 500. Greinke's throwing like one of the elite pitchers in the game again.
How about 134 strikeouts last year, and with the strikeout of Tyler Anderson last inning, it's the 6th time he's reached 200.
Yeah.
That's a big jump, right? From 134 back to 200 in 1 year.
The last 10 years, he's the only pitcher in baseball who has 150 wins.
He's had 10 straight seasons of 10-plus wins. That's the longest active streak in the big leagues.
Since 2009, the opposition has hit below 215 against him. That's how good he's been. When he came out of high school in Florida, he was the National High School Player of the Year. He had signed a national letter of intent to go to Clemson. That didn't happen. Three and 2. That's one of those ones in the baseball office at Clemson. They're patting each other on the back saying, hey, nice job recruiting Zach. We'll never see him here, though.
Really staying away on the Subaru strike zone to DJ.
And this is pulled to left. It is a fair ball. And LeMahieu will have himself a double. DJ LeMahieu, line to line.
Well, we were just talking about the Subaru strike zone and how everything they were going away to him. Well, they wanted this pitch away, but it stays probably more middle. I mean, not off the Subaru strike zone like the pitch 6 and 5, but because of the slower velocity on that curveball, DJ's able to rip it down the left field line. Stays fair by about 6 inches.
Card goes 0 for 2. A ground ball to second. He struck out on a slider down and in. We'll see how this matchup goes here. Tying run at second with 1 out.
Remember if DJ would have done that in the Arizona series back in Colorado, the way they had the outfield shifted on him?
Would have been an inside the park home run.
They didn't do it in this series. Now they'll do it with a different style of pitcher, somebody that throws probably 94, 95 miles an hour. We might see it tomorrow night with Walker on the hill.
And Cargo gets the bat broken. 2 outs. It'll be up to Nolan. LeMahieu to third.
You want to catch the action when the Rockies return this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, because the Padres come to Coors Field September 15th through the 17th. Purchase your tickets online at Rockies.com. And don't forget, Friday night, pretty special night. You got the 2007 reunion going on, the one that Spilly and Corey spearheaded.
I'm really excited about that. You know who I saw earlier tonight who's going to be attending? Rodrigo Lopez.
That's right.
Rodrigo on the Spanish language broadcasts down here with the Diamondbacks, and he's going to take the weekend off so he can party with Spilly.
Be careful.
Who, Rodrigo or me?
Rodrigo.
We're not worried about you.
You can hold your own.
Yeah, I'm fine. I've been drinking water. I started today. It's like a fighter.
You said that about Garrett the other day too, right?
Yeah, you got to prepare.
1-0 on Nolan, who's trying to get the equalizer home here in the 6th inning.
The Rockies got the equalizer in the 3rd inning with 2 outs, and DJ get the base hit to right field. Some more 2-out magic.
High drive, center field. It is over the head and off the very top of the wall. It is a run-scoring double for Nolan. He was just a few feet from putting the Rockies in front. That's his 120th RBI.
See, if you ask for it and say you need some more 2-out magic, it comes through. Boy, Nolan powdered this ball to center field. Came pretty close to that overhang out, and center right above the Fry sign.
Yeah, he wasn't more than 2 feet from hitting that out.
Because that comes back in. What do you think, Billy? About 4 or 5 feet, maybe even a little bit more?
Maybe a little bit more. That ball is crushed. Off the bat, I thought it was out.
Now Parra has an opportunity. He's hit the ball to second twice. Time for Parra time. Came in hitting above 338 at bats against Zach Greinke. This ball's well hit, but it is at Martinez to end the inning. So the Rockies got a pair of doubles, and the 2-out double by Arenado scores LeMahieu. We're back to a even game, 2-2, middle of 6.
Tied it up 2-2 here in Arizona. We have yet to do the magic number of the day because the Rockies hopefully are going to get in the playoffs. They have the magic number, the combination of wins and losses by the teams behind them in the wild card race. So let's see what number they're at today, and I think you're going to know which Rockies number this is right away. So let's reveal the magic number. It's number 17. So there's only one 17 that we go with. That's Todd. And you were talking about the reunion weekend. Todd's going to be there, right, Spilly?
That's right. He's bringing his family. Can't wait to see him. David Need boarded. I thought it was going to be either. I thought it was going to be Todd, but there's a good chance, knowing our producer, that she was going to throw David Need.
David Need, first, he was the initial Rocky starter. One strike on A.J. Pollock. A line drive to right and a walk for Pollock. 3, 4, and 5 for the Diamondbacks. Goldschmidt and Martinez here in the 6th inning against Tyler Anderson in relief of Kyle Freeland. On the ground, down the line, Nolan, great play. Can he get it out? You bet, what a play. Oh, man, he is something else.
Just cue the highlight reel for a long time, because I didn't think he had a chance to get this ball, and when he dives, it goes right into the webbing. He gets up, and he did the throw on purpose. He skipped it over there. I mean, look at the one-step quickness. And then he buries it, one hop, allows Mark to get it on a great hop.
Wow.
Go ahead and mail that gold glove or give it to him already, because he is the guy again.
That's a double. Goldschmidt takes a changeup for a strike.
Even on the Subaru Supermo, watch how far he has to lay out.
Plus you have a guy who can really run, who hit the baseball in Pollock.
And I've said it before too, the hard thing is when you dive is with your bare hand when it's going across the dirt. And then when you go to grab the baseball, sometimes there's still some little pebbles left on your hands and your fingertips. So when you grab that ball, you don't grab it pure. And so to get that throw off like he did with as much behind it, wow.
That's an extraordinary play. That's top 5 this year. Maybe top half dozen in his career. It's so hard to pick. He made so many ridiculous plays.
Well, I think just given the fact of this game too, Nolan hits the RBI in the top of the 6th. He comes back. That's an important at bat for A.J. Pollock, leading off, potentially getting a double.
Playing a Hall of Famer game. 1-2 on Goldschmidt. And Anderson beats him with a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. Nice little sequence there. And Anderson strikes out Goldschmidt.
Billy, I think goalie was sitting changeup because of the tardiness of this swing. I mean, that ball is almost in the glove before the bat's coming through the zone.
It's a really important inning for the Diamondbacks when they have 3, 4, 5. And the momentum swing for the Rockies after scoring, tying it up, is going to be huge.
Tough guy here in Martinez, and they're going to get him on one pitch. That's a great inning with a little help from the third baseman who can play a little D. 2 apiece going to inning number 7 in Phoenix. Time for the Cooney Lexus look back. DJ LeMahieu got the Rockies even this game with a 2-out line single to right to bring home Jonathan Lucroy, who had tripled off the center field wall, and this was a scary moment. Kyle Freeland took most of this apparently in the upper arm, and JD Martinez was the first hitter that he faced in the 4th inning. He departed, and Nolan, with the Rockies down 2-1 last inning, hit a double with 2 outs to bring home LeMahieu, who had doubled. So it's 2-2. Greinke working a story. It's about time for Trevor to hit another home run off Zach Greinke.
It's been like 2 at-bats since he's done that.
Well, he struck out and hit a line drive to deep center field. 4 career home runs against Greinke for Story. Well, works ahead now, 2-0.
The momentum for the Rockies is back in the dugout, and here at this ballpark, it is difficult to get really that energy. You don't get a lot of energy within the stadium, and it's hard to amp yourself up here.
It's quite the contrast from LA.
There were over 200,000 fans that took in that 4-game set between the Rockies and Dodgers.
And I've always felt too, and people will ask me, and it's Billy, I'm sure you feel this way, what's it like to play in front of 45,000 people? I think it's great. I mean, it's easy to get up for a game. If you're on the road, you can silence them. If you're at home, you just feel a different vibe. It's hard when you're playing in front of 10 or 12, 14,000 people, or even here tonight. I don't know what the announced attendance is, but it's pretty quiet, a mellow crowd.
Yeah, it's understandable, and
I love playing in front of 40,000 people, 45,000.
Of course, yeah, it's the best.
Yeah, I like this ballpark, and I know you guys like to hit in this ballpark. It's always been perplexing. The crowd's better than we've seen it because Arizona's doing well, but I'm always wondering, I know it's midweek, just on the ground at third, but you always start to wonder where the fans are. Just did get Trevor.
Gonzalez took a little time to get rid of that ball. He looked it in and then saw where Trevor was, and that was a lot closer than it should have been. Give Trevor credit for hustling down the line.
Well, Rosales came from the American League. Maybe he doesn't realize that Trevor Story, A, is going to run hard, and B, is really fast. You know, the Rockies are very fortunate because even in some of the lean years, the Rockies play in front of big crowds. And that's a credit to the entire region. They're continually pouring out to watch the Rockies at Coors Field.
It makes a difference. It really does. Anytime that you can go to the ballpark and know that you have fan support, that they're in it, they're cheering your teammates on when they're pitching well.
1-2. I thought Tom Hallion indicated strike. Now they changed the big board to 1-2. Two and two. We just got word from the Rockies clubhouse, and considering that ball came off JD Martinez about 115 miles an hour, I consider this really good news. A left arm contusion for Kyle Freeland.
Dodge one there.
Yep. Mark Reynolds has just 9 hits in 50 at-bats this year against his former club, Arizona, but 5 of the 9 hits have been home runs. Rosales That'll bring up Lucroy.
Jonathan with the triple, and then last time up, just a scorching line drive to center field.
Yeah, he's seeing Greinke well. Always has. 7 for 10.
Tapia has come to the on-deck circle for the Rockies. And Zach Greinke tonight. This is 6 strikeouts, but also 8 ground ball outs, 6 flyouts.
One 0 and another rope off the bat of Lucroy. And the busy Adam Rosales plucked it out of the air. Middle of 7, the Rockies 2 and the Diamondbacks 2. And on the 16th anniversary of the worst terrorist attack in our nation's history, we're going to pause once again for, I'm sure, a stirring rendition of God Bless America.
Please join us as we sing God Bless America.
Desert 2-2 as we head to the bottom of the 7th. You want to get on-demand access to the rooftop with the Rooftop Ballpark Pass. $96 for 8 games. Include concession credit. Choose the days and redeem your pass from your phone. Go to Rockies.com/rooftop for more information.
So we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. It'll be Brandon Drury, Adam Rosales, and Ketel Marte. Anderson stays in there. His number didn't come up last inning, and his first pitch misses. He has retired 9 in a row. He's not given up a hit since he took over for Kyle Freeland. The one blemish is there are two. When Freeland departed, he threw a wild pitch a few pitches later, which allowed Martinez to move to second, and then Martinez stole third on him, and it set up a sac fly ultimately by Rosales. Anderson has given the Rockies a huge lift tonight out of the pen.
Well, then helped by the defense last inning by Nolan. But just going through 3, 4, 5 in the 6th inning after the Rockies had scored the run in the top half of that inning. Now that man right there, 4 straight years with the Gold Glove for sure.
Here's the 1-2. He goes quick pitch, ground ball to DJ from his knees. 1 out.
I think Tyler's been watching a little bit of Chris Russin with the quick pitch. As he quick pitch Brandon Drury. Whoop, go. But then DJ, smooth as it gets, going to his backhand from his knee. It's Drury by 2 steps.
Guys, in between the innings, I had a chance to talk to Keith Duggar, and I asked him exactly what happened to Kyle Freeland, and he said that the ball hit him in the shoulder here and then ended up grazing his face. And he says as he was out there, Kyle did a good job of keeping it together. And as Keith Duggar was looking, he checked his shoulder, he lifted the sleeve up, and as soon as he saw it, he saw a gigantic welt, and he told him, it's time to come out of the game, Kyle.
Unfortunately, again, he had hit him in the arm and hit him in a fleshy part, but that is going to be really sore for a few days.
Just the image of that ball, I'm sure, for Kyle coming back at his face.
Scary, scary stuff. 0-2 on Rosales. You know, we haven't seen him in a while. June 25th, the last time Tyler Anderson started a ball game for the Rockies. And he was battling knee issues, and I think that speaks to his inflated ERA this year. But this guy competes. He's always well prepared. I like watching him on the hill.
He's giving him a huge lift in this game.
And he gets a strikeout upstairs, his third on Rosales. 2 outs, nobody on, and Marte will come up. He's thrown 52 pitches, and he wasn't completely stretched out, but the AAA season for the Isotopes ended. And, you know, if he can get Marte, he's due to lead off, so he's not going to go beyond this, but it's probably right around the pitch limit also. On the ground, that he's going to go for the first hit, I'm sure, of the game off of Anderson. So Marte gets it, and because he reaches, Greinke's not going to hit with 2 outs.
Well, they're going to go to the pinch hitter. Marte is now hit in 7 straight games.
It's kind of interesting. In a 2-2 game, Greinke's been dominant. Christian Walker's going to pinch hit. Well, I didn't realize Greinke's at 92. And I believe, and we were having this discussion earlier around the batting cage, when a team feels like it's already in the postseason, how much do they push their rotation guys? if Arizona's battling for a playoff spot, they have to feel real comfortable right now.
And he still gave you 7 innings.
He did give you 7, but in a 2-2 game with 2 outs and a runner at first, if Arizona's even or behind,
he's
or
going
maybe a game up in the playoff chase, he's going to go hit.
Yeah, and I'm going to give him 110, 115 pitches.
I don't know. I kind of disagree. I think
You're allowed to.
I think there's times in a game where you understand that your guy gave you 6 innings, you trust your bullpen, and you have to take a shot with the pinch hitter. I believe this is that shot.
So you think even if the standings were different and they weren't comfortably in a playoff spot, that Torrey would still pinch hit?
Kind of looking at it this way, when you're not able to score a lot of runs and you're looking for offense, there's times where you just have to trust a hitter.
Well, that's not going to help. That's the second wild pitch. And now, as opposed to an extra base hit scoring a run, now a single in all likelihood would do it.
Jake McGee up for the second time.
We're talking about the crowd. We have the attendance, 24,178. Two and nothing.
Walker, former Orioles farmhand, who was claimed off waivers. The Orioles in 14 and 15, and then was with the Reds and designated for assignment at the end of spring training. That's how the D-backs got him.
And that's ball 3. Pretty clearly in the Subaru strike zone.
Giving the young guy a swing, a hack 3-0.
Well, with 2 outs,
there's no harm in it.
There's no harm in it, right?
No.
This kid hit 32 home runs in Reno this year.
And I know you guys talked a lot about it in the Dodgers series, how aggressive Corey Seager is first pitch. You know, he almost treats it like a, like a pitch hit appearance. Well, why not swing 3-0? You think you're going to get a fastball. Good pitch to swing at.
There's that equalizer, man. That good changeup. 3-2. Andrew Chafin and Archie Bradley. Bradley will come in if they take the lead, you would think. And Chafin just sat down, so Hoover's up now. J.J. Hoover.
Go back to the changeups, Billy.
You know what? Tyler Anderson's really good at tying up right-handers with fastballs in, but that changeup it's been on tonight.
He got him on a fastball. He came all the way back and strikes out Walker. Well done, Tyler Anderson. We move to the 8th inning. The Rockies 2 and the Diamondbacks 2. What a night. What a return for Anderson. Time for the Kubota pitching performance. Tyler Anderson, 4 shutout innings. He allowed only 1 hit. Struck out 4, didn't walk a batter. Splendid return and a timely return for Anderson. The Rockies 2, the Diamondbacks 2. And for the Rockies, Raimel Tapia is going to pinch hit. J.J. Hoover's now on the mound for Arizona. Top of the 8th inning, Blackman and LeMahieu to follow, and hopefully several others.
Tapia 2 for 12 as a pinch hitter. And while J.J. Hoover was warming up, and we'll see the numbers, 43 ball games for him, 12 out of his last 15, he's been scoreless. But Charlie was talking to Raimel. He was telling him, okay, this is what he has. And that is a fastball about 93, a changeup right around 88, curveball and slider.
The rare really 4-pitch mix guy coming out of the pen.
But a lot of it's just fastball, slider to lefty.
Like that swing. Raimel had a big double early in that Dodger series. One of the things you hear a lot about Raimel, and you know he runs well, he's got a nice bat, is how important the game is to him, how he competes. I got a steely-eyed look every time we see him in the clubhouse, and when he goes out to stretch.
That and he can hit.
Yep, he has very high, yeah, and he has high expectations for himself. Got a battle here, down 2 strikes. It would be awesome to get him on base.
Just can't say enough about the job that Tyler Anderson did. 59 pitches, 41 for strikes as he's just coming back after missing 2.5 months of the season.
2-2.
Well done on your return.
Arenado throws to first to complete the play, 1 out. So Blackman will come up. Charlie started the ball game with a double. He's going to get Chafin now. 1 hitter for Hoover. And here comes Torey Lovullo. You know, Charlie's probably saying, that's fine.
Okay.
Because guess what? I rake against lefties also. Well, the matchup when we come back, 8th inning. Rockies and Diamondbacks tied at 2.
8th inning. They calling all college students, take a study break, you have to, and come out to the ballpark on Friday, September 15th. You can purchase the special ticket package and receive a special college night item and a discounted ticket. So come on out, college night. New pitcher for the Arizona Diamondbacks coming up to face Charlie Blackmon is Andrew Chafin, and lefties this year off of Chafin, 247, 1 home run. But Charlie in his career, 4-14, 286 against Andrew. As you can see from the innings, 47 in 64 games. A lot of times it's less than 1 inning. Sometimes it's only 1 or 2 batters for Andrew.
Well, and Andrew throws a slider 51% of the time. There's only 5 other relievers in baseball that have a higher slider percentage. That's what Charlie's going to see throughout this at bat.
You know what? Charlie Spilly's hitting .339 against righties, and there's a significant drop-off. .337 against lefties.
Oh, man, he needs to work harder.
That's what I'm saying. 2 strikes on Blackmon. 2-2 game, 1 out in the 8th. Charlie hitting .378 in the second half this year, which is the best mark in baseball. He was behind Altuve for a good portion of the second half, but Altuve, an MVP candidate in the American leagues, cooled off a little bit. Charlie's been the best hitter in the second half in baseball. In fact, the only guy close is Odubel Herrera with the Phillies, who had a really difficult first half.
Didn't he? Still, the MVP out of the American League is Altuve.
Be hard to vote against him, I would think. 2-2. You know, Judge in the first half looked like it was going to be Altuve or Judge. Judge, you know, I know he hit a couple home runs yesterday, but he has cooled off also considerably. You know, Mike Trout's had a great year, but he missed 40-some-odd games. You know who's a dark horse candidate, though, is Jose Ramirez with Cleveland. Strike 3 on Charlie.
Well, they just locked him up with the fastball. That's when you just kind of have to tip your cap and go back to the dugout.
Good pitch.
Yeah, because Charlie, as Billy was talking about, Charlie studies the numbers, and I'm sure he was thinking it was going to be a slider on a 2-2. And that'll be all for Andrew Chafin.
Change we get the chance to tell you about Twitter takeover tomorrow, and the skipper, Buddy Black, is going to take over our Twitter handle at ATT Sportsnet RM and answer your questions. So if you have a question for Buddy, tweet it now, tweet it tomorrow. We'll get it to him and we'll get some answers. At ATT Sportsnet RM, Bud Black taking over Twitter tomorrow for Twitter Takeover Tuesday. Going to be fun.
That will be fun, Mark. Thank you for that update. So 3 hitters, 3 pitchers in this 8th inning. Rockies with 2 outs will have LeMahieu at the plate. DJ 2 for 3. RBI single in the 3rd, double with 1 out in the 6th, and he would score the Rockies' 2nd run on a double with 2 outs by Arenado. That's a strike.
Jake Barrett just recalled a couple weeks ago from Reno, their AAA affiliate. Now for the Aces, he was 2-0 in 20 ball games, 3 saves.
So here's the situation, boys. Barrett throws a fastball that averages about 95 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Where are the outfielders? Where's the left fielder?
They're going back to that shift we saw in Colorado. And the other thing that gets me is where the shortstop is playing.
That's to protect against a triple. This ball's hit a ton to right, way back, deep right field, and off the wall. And it kicks back toward the infield. DJ on his way to 3rd with a triple. Off the bat. I thought he'd got Oppo Taco again.
DJ's pretty low key. We're around him a lot. But you know this was special. Eh? He says, okay, you're going to play that way. I'll still hit it that way over your head.
He thought maybe. You could tell by his reaction.
And I thought maybe, too, the way that wall comes back in and J.D. Martinez goes crashing into it, that DJ knows that if he gets to 3rd, gets in there pretty easily. Now you're just a wild pitch away from being able to take the lead in this game. Of course, your open cargo comes through, but boy, what a swing from DJ. A single, double, triple tonight.
This is Mike Butcher coming out. He's not facing, Barrett is not facing Cargo. They have a lefty warming up in McFarland. And this is,
well, he's got to pitch to him now.
Yeah, now they came out, you're right.
He has to pitch to him. So
I thought the big stall was going on, but when they run, they changed that rule.
Yeah, right.
You can't have the manager now run out.
Now he's got to face his hitter.
Cargo's 0 for 3. Couple ground outs and a strikeout. 2 out knock gives the Rockies the lead.
Well, Rosales is a long way off a 3rd, too.
Why do you get McFarland up if you don't intend to have him pitch to Cargo?
No idea. But see how far Rosales is off? That helps DJ get a good secondary lead. So if the ball's in the dirt, it doesn't have to go very far.
Cargo's got a 2-0 count. Last 6 ball games, 10 for 19. Couple home runs. He's not thinking home run. He's thinking the ball hard somewhere. Drive in DJ. 3-0 with Arenado on deck. And he walks, and here comes Nolan, the RBI leader in baseball, who tied the game with a booming double to center in the 6th.
3rd baseman, Nolan Arenado.
I'm wondering here if you just put him on, kind of go the Barry Bonds treatment.
And bring in McFarland to face Parra. What? That'd be really risky because then if you get a hit, you're down by 2.
Just saying that winning runs are already on base. I'm just looking at it from Torey Lovullo's perspective. I want Nolan at the plate right now.
And to me, from Lovullo's perspective, you just can't do that. Hitting, as you guys well know, is still really hard. Nolan takes a strike. I just don't think you can risk being down by 2.
I understand all of that. I hear what you're saying, but at the same time, when you go into a series, if you're looking at the Rockies, who are you going to say you don't want to beat you? The guy that's leading all of baseball in RBIs.
0-1. First and third, 2 outs.
Maybe they just pitch him very carefully.
Rockies got a 2-out triple from LeMahieu. Cargo walked on 4 pitches. Two and 1.
Tell you what, Nolan's locked in at the plate. You can tell right out of the hand, both pitches, the last 2, the slider and the fastball away.
He picked him up, didn't he?
Right out of the hand.
And Spilly, you've noticed this. We talked about it a little bit in Los Angeles. 3 times in this game, Nolan's really gone to the right field portion of second base.
Yeah, he has no problem hitting the ball opposite field.
This ball high and deep left center field. Did he click it?
Get out of here.
You bet! 3-run home run. Nolan Arenado. They messed with the wrong guy.
Thank you for messing with him.
What a ball game for number 28. 5-2 Colorado.
You thinking Torey wishes he might have put him on now? You know what he's doing too?
There was a fan
There was a
barking
fan
at him.
that was barking at him when he was on the on-deck circle. He was talking to him the whole time. I was watching him. That's why he did that. Wow, you get a hanging slider, and he bangs it out of here. Mercy.
You know what? Thank you, fan. You just poked the bear.
And as Billy was saying, he was locked in that hole at bat. He was sinking up the middle the other way, and then he gets a hanger and pulls it to left field.
Nolan's still hot in the dugout right now. He loves it. Whoever was barking at him, tell you what, Nolan didn't appreciate it, but whatever he did, keep poking him.
Spilly, let's go in. We'll buy that guy a ticket for tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm gonna put him in the same spot.
Hey, how about this too, guys? All 5 runs tonight with 2 outs.
Parra takes a strike, 0-2. Nolan's driven in 4, and he saved a leadoff double from Pollock on an amazing play down the third base line a couple of innings ago.
So having hit on this on-deck circle here in Arizona, it's very easy for any sort of fans down at the field level to start talking. And I don't know if somebody was talking to him early.
Yeah, he
Maybe
was.
after the walk, they said they'd rather face you.
I just saw a guy standing down there by the fence. And the whole time, Nolan had his back, didn't acknowledge that he was there. But I'm sure he was just chewing on his ear the whole time. And Nolan, that temperature started to rise and get higher and higher. And then that's the best way to cap it off, though.
Parra goes down. The damage is done with 2 outs. Triple by LeMahieu, a walk to Gonzalez, and Nolan Arenado loses one to left center. 33rd home run, 123 RBIs, and he's still conversing with that fan. Love it. you got to love 3-run home runs. Who doesn't like a 3-run home run? Nolan Arenado just threw one up into the stands, and the Rockies have a 5-2 lead. And he is still fired up.
He was fired up when he was coming out of the dugout. He was still looking at that guy. Hey, pay attention to me. You want to talk to me?
It's the guy in the black hat.
Yeah, the guy. So the other guy, Bud Hayes, says, hey, Nolan's still talking to you.
There you got your 30 seconds of fame.
Well, I know that the Diamondback security and seat personnel, they told him, hey, stop poking Nolan Arenado. He cost us the game, bro. Sit down.
Jake McGee. And the first pitch is hitting the air. Second pitch, I should say, to David Peralta. Hitting the air to left. Parra takes care of that. That'll bring up Arenado. I'm glad that fan did it, but I have never understood when you're not in the arena talking trash to somebody who is.
I don't get it, but you hear it all the time.
There's a reason they're on the field and you're sitting where you are.
That's as close as you're going to get. The ticket you bought.
2-0.
We love fan interaction. We love it when fans are encouraging or discouraging, but when it becomes personal, and I'm not sure what this guy said to Nolan.
We haven't seen Nolan react like that with a fan. I'm sure he hears stuff. That misses. 3-0 on Arenado.
Where's that pitch?
I'm sure he hears stuff, but I haven't seen him with that kind of reaction. Three and one.
My favorite interaction I ever had was at Dodger Stadium. The guy sees the back of my jersey and he's like, Spielberg, Star Wars movies stink. And I go, that's George Lucas, idiot.
Are you kidding me?
No way. Come on.
Promise.
Oh,
You should have just shaken your head.
come on.
You're a no-hoper, sir. 3-1 on Arenado, and it's 3-2 on Chris.
And whatever energy was in this ballpark, kind of like Dodger Stadium the other day, or all 4 games, it just got sucked out of it.
Torey Lovullo was doing his best Bruce Bochy. He was going hitter for hitter matching up, which you can do because you have a multitude of options in the bullpen. He had McFarland up, and he didn't bring him in to face Cargo. That was a walk. The ricochet got Tom Hallion. Don't start creating traffic.
We give Tom Hallion a moment to gather himself. He can celebrate Latin culture during Dia de los Rockies on Saturday, September 16th, presented by Sprint. Featuring Latin musical entertainment, pregame Latin cultural celebration, and more. The first 10,000 fans will also receive a Los Rockies t-shirt. That's Saturday, September 16th.
Well, with the 2 righties coming up, the 3 righties, Pollock, Goldschmidt, and Martinez, it'll be Pat Neshek. Rockies lead 5-2 on Nolan's 3-run homer. AT Sportsnet is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Say yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. By Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo customers get your 2-for-1 Rockies club level tickets by visiting wellsfargo.com/Rockies. And by USAA, insurance, banking, and investments tailored for the military community. 1 out, 1 on. In the bottom of the 8th inning, the Rockies up 5-2. Pat Neshek has come on after Jake McGee got an out and then walked Chris Arenado. A.J. Pollock, who's 0 for 2 and a walk, will step in against the 37-year-old Neshek. 65 games now between Philadelphia and Colorado.
He's really found his rhythm here, too.
Sliders off the plate.
A.J. 1 for 4 in the previous matchups with Pat.
And that's a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Dangerous Diamondbacks lineup like the Rockies. The Rockies have the 5th best OPS in baseball. The Diamondbacks have the 6th best. 1-1, and that's going to go into the seats. Foul before Cargo can make an attempt. Two and two.
Pat trying to get that ground ball, and the infielders know with Pollock's speed, they got to get rid of it quickly. They've turned 154 already, double plays on the year.
First of 4, Rockies trying to snap a 6-game losing streak against Arizona. And that's toward the gap in left center field. Charlie will try to cut it off. To second goes the throw, but it's a double for Pollock. And now you have the tying run coming up in Goldschmidt.
Bad play slider from Pat. Wanted it down and away, and it's just a frisbee up there. Ended up belt high to AJ. 28 double this season. See where Jonathan set up, and that's nowhere close. Just stays up and in, and he rips it to left center field. Charlie takes a nice route to that baseball to cut it off. You know, we talk about a little bit how quick the infield is here, but the outfield too is extremely quick.
Off the plate to Goldschmidt, who will force you to throw strikes. He's been in a little funk despite his home run yesterday. He's 2 for his last 19, but this is an MVP candidate, not a guy you want to be facing. Ground ball to the right side will get a run home. And you'll gladly at this juncture sacrifice a run for an out. And now you have Martinez, who has been a holy terror, especially with the log ball, since putting on an Arizona uniform.
21 home runs for the D-backs. Done up just in case.
Great exchange just right now. Lucroy looks in to see if Bud was actually considering walking JD Martinez. Bud looks at him and is like, no, go after him.
Well, this is the same thing that, basically that Huey brought up last inning in relationship to Arenado. If you were to put on JD Martinez, you're putting on the tying run. And for me, the Bonds treatment, it's called the Bonds treatment, was for one guy that we've witnessed in the last 50 years. And that was Barry Bonds. He was different, man. As great as Nolan is, as good as this guy's been the last couple of months.
The only difference for me, though, is if you put JD on, you bring the winning run to the plate. Whereas if you put Nolan on, the winning runs were already on base. And so that's why I kind of looked at it that way. I pitched to JD Martinez for sure.
2-1. And this is why Jeff Bridich went out and got Pat Neshek to pitch high leverage innings, and especially against right-handed hitters who reside in the middle of an order.
But like I said, I'm glad Torrey pitched to Nolan.
Yep. Here's the 2-1. And that's off the plate. Drury's on deck, 3-1. Jeff Bridich with the Rockies on the road trip. Martinez the last 9, 8 home runs, hitting .435. And a ground ball fair. Long throw for Nolan. Got to be picked out of the dirt.
Oh!
Couldn't do it.
Couldn't do it. My, oh my.
You could see as that ball was going across the diamond, it was going to be a short hop. And now it's 5-4.
Nolan gave Mark the perfect hop last time, and then this one just too close. And the other thing, Spilly, it looked like it skipped right off the seam between the dirt and the grass, and then Mark had a tough time with that one, and understandable.
That's exactly where the baseball hit. And I know Nolan wanted to probably skip it a lot farther out.
It is a hit for Martinez, and it's a 5-4 game. Drury 0 for 2. And he singles.
We're going to go to Descalso, I bet. This is where you go Mike Dunn on. You bring him in to face Daniel Descalso.
Daniel's had a terrific year and a clutch year for Arizona.
But if you go with the lefty, then they might pull Daniel back after being announced.
They're also going to get a pinch runner in for Martinez. They're going to get Blanco in there to run for Martinez. Gregor Blanco. So here comes Buddy as Descalso is announced. Descalso to hit for Rosales. Rockies clinging now to a 5-4 lead in the 8th. In to try to get the pinch hitter Daniel Descalso, who played the last 2 years for the Rockies. He recently hit his 10th home run of the year, a new career high.
Opponent's hitting 229. Left-handers 250 off of Mike, right-handers 211, but there's a big discrepancy for Daniel Descalso, whether he's facing a right-hander or a southpaw. Right-handers he's hitting 263, southpaw's 188.
He had a walk-off home run against the Rockies earlier this year. You don't want to see anything like that. This inning started fine for Jake McGee. He got Peralta on the second pitch, a fly ball to left, but then he walked Chris Arenado, which you know what walks are about, especially with a 3-run lead. 0-1. Pollock then doubled. Goldschmidt a ground out for the second out to bring in a run. But Martinez hit a ground ball to third. Nolan made the play. He had a long throw, and he was trying to skip it, but it was a little bit too tight. A skip to Reynolds, and he couldn't hold on to the baseball. Boy, Descalso just helped out on a pitch that was out of the zone in. It's 0-2.
Way up and in on the Subaru strike zone.
Now you're in that slider count.
That's the first pitch you threw to him. I think you go back to it again.
Well, if you remember last week, Daniel Descalso with 2 strikes and a pinch hit at bat against Mike Dunn hit a slider for a 3-run home run.
He went slider, was down 1-2.
That's a good memory, Spilly. That was the one at Coors Field.
And if I remember right, he was behind in the count also.
Yeah, that's what Spilly said. Yeah, 0-2.
Lucroy looking up at Descalso, now flashing a series of signs. 1-2. Nothing easy in September. A month of white knuckling it. 2-2. Where is that? I thought he had the outside corner in the upper portion of the zone, and he did.
Well, now the runners are going to be.
Yeah, that trail runner will be moving in. Drury. Three-two. Oh man, turned foul.
It is, it's foul.
Foul ball. Spilly, I'm glad you had the right angle on it, because from up here, we couldn't be sure. Where'd all this pop come from all of a sudden from Descalso?
Dad pop. Okay, from that angle, clearly. But from where we're sitting up here, it was grab the seat and hold on.
Third pitcher in the 8th inning for the Rockies. McGee, Neshek, and now Mike Dunn. Another 3-2. Right center field and deep, but playable for Blackman. End of inning. Rockies hold on to the lead, 5-4. The Diamondbacks get 2 in the 8th. Rockies in the 9th inning will face Jimmy Sherfy. He's had a nice little major league debut. In 5 1/3, he has not given up a run yet. So Sherfy will face Trevor Story, Mark Reynolds, and Jonathan Lucroy. This is a couple of other defensive changes for Arizona. Blanco ran for Martinez. Gregor's in right field.
Leading off for Colorado, shortstop.
Let me correct that. Gregor's in left field. And they flip Peralta to right field. There's Daniel Descalso. He's at third base.
For Sherfy, fastball, changeup, curveball mix.
Rocky saw him last week. And this ball's well hit to center field. It is over the head and off the wall. Pollock will throw it back in. It's a leadoff double for Story, who continues his assault on Diamondback pitching in Phoenix. Rocky's looking to get at least one run back. Give Greg Holland a little more cushion in the bottom of the 9th.
I like that too from Trevor. Just don't wait around. You get a fastball to your liking for your 27th double. AJ Pollock's going back and says, well, I better just play this off the wall and get it back in. With the full connection with the body and the hands working in tandem.
We saw Mark try to bunt a couple days ago. I wouldn't be surprised if he did it right here. Nope. Ball 1.
Well, maybe because he popped that one up. I don't know. It's hard to do something when you're never really asked to do it. But at the very least, you got to make sure you can get him in or over for Jonathan. That was a good swing.
Yeah, he just missed a pitch.
Yeah. That was almost the same swing that he hit that grand slam with the other day.
Just needed a click lower.
Boys, this turned into a heck of a game. 1-1.
It just feels like a different team compared to the last time the Rockies and the Diamondbacks met up. It's amazing what confidence does to a group. And for the team this time through, Trevor has himself his best swing. Cargo has his best swing back.
2-1. Sherfy wants Arenado. Sherfy tied a major league record by not allowing a base runner in his first 4 appearances. It's happened only 9 times in major league history.
Miguel Diaz was the last one to do it. He did it earlier this year.
Nobody out. Story at second with a double. There's that curveball we saw in Denver. He's got a good one. 2-2.
Not sure if he throws the curveball almost more than any other pitcher, relief pitcher in baseball.
Well,
throwing it 64% of the time.
5 1/3. It's his pitch. And this one on the ground, but at the left side. And Reynolds is out, but Story has to stay put. So there's one gone, and that'll bring up Lucroy. He's hit the ball on the barrel 3 times today, all against Zach Greinke. He had a triple, a line drive to deep center, and a line shot at then third baseman Adam Rosales.
He should be sitting 3 for 3.
Amarista has come out on deck.
It's kind of when you go to yourself, okay, I know I didn't get the results in the last 2, but I had a good process at that baseball.
And if your Story, There's a fastball for a strike.
That's a quick pitch. That looked like a balk. He didn't even stop. Holy cow. Everybody missed it. All 4 umpires missed that.
The Rockies dugout didn't.
Yeah, he paused.
Sure looked like he was still kind of moving and fidgeting with his hands. That was much. Did you see that one after they said something? That pause was a lot longer.
Do you know what? This where, again, Story with the propensity for him to throw that curveball, that he does throw that curveball, you have to, anything in the dirt, he's got to move up, especially now that there's 1 out.
This is, too, as a base runner, you're bearing down on the signs. So as soon as you see a 2 flash, you kind of remember, was it the second sign? Was it the third or the last? Where is it? So now you know and maybe have an idea of what sequence it is. So now if you do Trevor, I don't know what that sign, you know, where that 2 came into in that whole sequence, but I'm sure Trevor's looking at that saying, okay, was it the 3rd sign? So I'll see. Okay, so right now it's the 3rd sign. Sometimes it's the 1st sign after 2, but take a peek here. So you know it's not the 3rd sign, it's not the 1st sign after 2. So you can start to eliminate some of the signs from the catcher.
1 and 2 on Lucroy. Drury's trying to keep Story close to the bag. Ground ball toward that right side. Drury gets over there and he'll throw out. Lucroy, Story to 3rd. We'll see if the Rockies can continue to produce with 2 outs in this game. They had a 2-out double from Nolan to tie up the game in the 6th, and a 2-out 3-run home run from Nolan in the 8th. Here comes Amarista. Who wants tacos? Fans, follow us at AT&T Sportsnet RM on Twitter to receive alerts for the Rockies taco special when the Rockies score 7 or more runs. Now this is interesting. He's going to go with Amarista coming up. This is going to play into, in my mind, with all due respect to Amarista, this is playing into Buddy Black's hands. He's going to go get like an Ian Desmond.
Patty Barrels, one of them.
Or Pat Vallejo, who's been great off the bench.
It's Desmond time.
Yeah.
Nice.
And in this little chess match, on paper, this has been won by Buddy Black. TJ McFarland against righties, they're hitting .303. Against lefties, which is his specialty, they're hitting .203. So, excuse me, .331, not .303. Righties are hitting .331. So Amarista, who's always been a part-time player, and again, it's not a knock on Alexi, he gets announced and burned, and now you have an everyday player, a guy who's been an all-star in this league, Ian Desmond, who's going to take the at-bat with Story at third. Gets a high-quality swing off.
And of the 4 home runs that McFarland's given up, 3 have come against right-handed batters.
The other part I like about Desmond right here compared to Pat Valaika, Desmond has a lot of infield singles. He puts the ball in play. He puts a lot of pressure on the defense compared to Pat Valaika.
And then one final piece of that puzzle, too, with the lefty for Trevor, you don't have to worry about anything. He's got that blind spot, so you get further off for your secondary lead.
Five for Colorado in the 9th. Here's the 1-1. It's been a nerve-wracking several days for Ian Desmond with his family in Sarasota. Checked with them today in the clubhouse. Everybody came out okay. 1-2. McFarland strikes out Desmond, so it worked out for Arizona. We'll go to the bottom of the 9th. The Rockies 5, the Diamondbacks 4. Greg Holland will try to nail it down. Here we go. Bottom of the 9th inning in Arizona. The Rockies have a 5-4 lead. They led 5-2 on a 2-out, 3-run home run in the 8th by Arenado. Arizona scrapped for a couple in the bottom of the 8th. Ketel Marte, who's batting 8th, will lead it off. And then we'll get a pinch hitter, Jake Lamb. And after that, it's the top of the order, represented by David Peralta.
Greg, in that LA series, a couple saves, 2 innings, 3 strikeouts.
Marte tries to bunt his way on. He fouled it behind the screen. That had everybody moving. Well, the Rockies got 5 tonight, Spilly, but
They've left some on the table.
Yeah, they left a couple on the table. The leadoff double in the first by Charlie, and then the Story double in the right spots in the lineup also. It's been a tight
really
zone.
Tight zone,
you know,
tonight.
That was at the bottom of the zone, and in fact, it hurt McFarland, at least initially, with Desmond, because the second pitch to Desmond was basically right down the middle, and it was called a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Marte, bouncer deep to Story. Can he get him? Yes, that's a great play. In the hole, Story throws out a guy who can run, and he was shaded up the middle. That was a terrific play by Trevor.
All arm strength. Because I was watching Nolan at first, and then he took 2 steps and stopped, knowing that he couldn't get to it. Trevor had to take this on his backhand, and then that's really a lot of hips involved in that, and to get him by a full step on the Subaru Supermo. Watch the hips involved as soon as he starts to make the throw. How they really have to rotate. You got to throw kind of across your body. Sometimes those balls will sail on you. That one was right on the money.
But here is Jake Lamb. He has a ton of pop. 27 home runs, 2 ribbies shy of 100. Did not start tonight against the lefty Freeland. Curveball misses, ball 1. Holland looking for his 6th save this year against Arizona.
It's the 3rd pinch hit for Jake Lamb.
And that's a good pitch.
Really good pitch.
And that's a big pitch, and so is this next one. The Rockies, their bullpen has been in a good place. The only issue at times is they have handed out some free passes late. Cannot do that here in a 1-run game. 3-1.
Penn in the Dodgers series picked up 16 innings, just a couple earned runs, 8 hits, 22 strikeouts in that Dodger 4-game sweep.
Rockies have 3 on the right side. Ground ball, DJ on the outfield grass. Bobbled it.
Being air on DJ.
It's a guy, I mean, any infielder you want to hit to, and the Rockies force him. And DJ commits the error, and now Peralta is the winning run.
Just came up and ate him, got him on the heel of the glove. He's underneath it on the Subaru Supermo. Doesn't get any leather, hits right off the palm. And now they'll put Jeremy Hazelbaker in to run for Jake Lamb, who's got a lot of speed.
Ball 1 on Peralta. And 2-0. Rockies made 4 errors in the Dodgers series. I said earlier in the broadcast that The Rockies have won 6 out of 7, but the one area where they haven't been as tight as normal has been their defense. They've dropped from first in the league in major leagues to third. And that misses. It's 3-0. On deck is Arenado. After that is Pollock. This guy may be firing the bat here, and it doesn't matter. Ball 4, and now the winning run is on. An error and a walk, and you have Pollock coming up, or excuse me, Arenado coming up.
The numbers for Chris against Greg, 1 for 3. A.J. Pollock on deck, 0 for 1.
That's why those insurance runs are so important when you have opportunity to get them across late in the game, because it becomes nail-biting time if you don't.
This is where you hope Chris hits it on the ground.
Here's another guy. He's very patient. He's going to make you throw strikes.
Uh-oh.
This ball's well hit right center field, and Cargo will get there. Put a scare in a lot of Rockies fans. Didn't think he quite clicked it, Spilly.
I didn't think he had it. Watching Cargo off the bat, you can tell with the sound. Just watching Cargo's angle to the baseball to go run this down. It's important to note that when you're watching Cargo run, he takes a perfect angle to this. Otherwise, you could have easily played this into a double. Straight line, straight to where he thinks it's going to go. Gives himself enough time to slow down right before the wall.
Well, for a moment, Jeremy thought it was going to drop too.
So there's 2 outs, and A.J. Pollock's at the plate. He had a double in his last at bat. He's been scuffling of late. That backed up. The slider was not particularly sharp, but it landed. So it's 0-1.
At this point, you'll take it. If he doesn't fire at it, you'll take that.
Two outs in the ninth, 5-4 Colorado. Here's the 0-1. Great block.
That was just perfect technique from Jonathan. Drops to his knees and just kind of rolls his shoulders and throws his arms down by his side. Just watch this. So drops down, not even attempting to try to pick that or have it go in his glove. He knew the whole time that it's going to have to go off his chest.
One and one. In the air, down the right field line. It's going to go out of play. You hope that Holland can bite off one of his vintage sliders.
Thinking the same thing, because this is going to show up.
Everybody at home do the same thing Greg Holland's doing.
Take a deep breath.
Take a deep breath. A ball and 2 strikes. 2 outs in the 9th. And this one kicks to the backstop. And on the wild pitch, the tying run at 3rd, the winning run at 2nd.
3rd wild pitch tonight. And 1 in the 4th, 1 in the 7th, now 1 in the 9th. And there's nothing Jonathan can do about that one. Where it hit.
So as a hitter, if you're A.J. Pollock, you see that pitch, you're pretty much eliminating curveball. If you go back to that pitch, if Lucroy and Holland want to go back to that, you can freeze the hitter.
2-2 on Pollock. Ground ball to short. Story's throw, perfect. Ball game over. You can breathe again.
Woo! Okay, thank you.
The Rockies win it. They survive 5-4. They have won their 7th straight on the road. They end a 6-game losing streak to Arizona, and they're now 5-0 on this road trip. And they also pick up a full game on Milwaukee, who lost earlier. Our Jimmy John's delivery of the game, 8th inning, 2 outs. Nolan Arenado with a fan chirping at him, hits a 3-run bomb. And the Rockies hold on late, and they win 5-4. Anderson in his return, out of the pen, gets the win. Barrett the loss. Holland his 40th save. To Denver we go. Here's Jenny.